2.67 ERA, 72 strikeouts and 71 in the third innings of pitching. Over 7 career minor league seasons, 38 and 40, 599 strikeouts and 607 strikeouts and 599 innings. So it is a power arm up to 97, 98 with action, slider, and a changeup. And I was told that the sometimes slider look like a cut fastball. It is not. It is a slider. So, again, as I said earlier to Dan, Make can get the ball over the place and over the plate. We'll see what can happen. Left-hander 7 for 23. Let me think, Dan, real fast. 304. And right-hander 3 for 17, 176. I continue to do that.
Amazing.
And thank you, Dan.
Amazing. 81 degrees outside, a comfortable 72 inside. Game time weather brought to you by Captain Morgan Black Spiced Rum. Drink responsibly. Captain's orders. We know that for the first 7 games of this road trip, there will not be a rainout. And it's not too often you can say that.
That's right.
Start of a long road trip, you know the rain will not be an issue for the first 7 games.
And that's something really that you feel a little relaxed about.
Austin Jackson digs in to lead off. Hunter and Cabrera to follow. Tight, low-scoring games are the norm in this ballpark the last 3 years, certainly, between the Tigers and the Rays. They've split the 12 games in that time. Austin Jackson will lead off with a 301 batting average. First pitch from the righty, Colomé. Is a fastball low and outside. And we are underway here at Tropicana Field. Tonight's first pitch at 7:12. Brought to you by Sunoco and the Free Fuel 5000. Get the decal, get spotted, and win. Jackson's been on base an awful lot. It seems like he's on base at least 2 times every game. There's a swing and a tap foul. He's reached in 28 of his last 52 trips to the plate.
Fabulous, really. He is. He's been something.
And he's the guy you would hope could get this offense ignited here.
When he's been on so much, and it still hasn't happened. So that's you have to think about that a lot.
The 1-1 from Colomé. Fastball high and tight. Sounds like, Jim, that some things clicked for him starting maybe last year, talking about Colomé, that finally started to get a feel for pitching and not just throwing, because, as you said, he's got a live arm.
Right. He was one of those kids who threw it through a brick wall and tried to.
2-1 pitch is low and outside. Ryan Knight is our home plate umpire tonight. Dan Iasonia at first. Vic Carapazza at second. Mark Carlson is our third base umpire tonight.
And Dan, sometimes you have to have some ups and downs and realize, finally think in that you just can't throw the ball. You got to pitch it.
Now Jackson waiting on the 3-1 on the way. Swing and a miss.
Wow.
Fastball up in the strike zone. Colomé works, you basically would say, from the stretch. He does take a quick little step back with the left foot, but basically he is working from the stretch, and we have seen this with a number of pitchers this year, including Jose Alvarez the other day.
Yeah, I really think it's because the mechanics are simpler this way.
Works over toward the first base side of the rubber. Longoria deep, close to the line at third. Here's the payoff pitch. Up and in. Austin Jackson so good at taking close 3-2 pitches. Takes a close one there, right in on the hands. And he's on base. Leadoff walk for Jackson.
What we talked about, Dan, have him question his arsenal with all the walks he had the last time out. They can get the ball over the heart of the plate, then get him. How's that plan?
It's a sound plan based on years of experience.
Thank you, Dan.
Rays have had their shares of injuries, and they certainly have missed David Price. Now, David Price wasn't necessarily pitching that well when he was hurt. But
surprisingly so, yes.
But that's your Cy Young Award winner from last year, and anytime that guy's on the DL, you're missing him.
For what?
David Price has made a couple of rehab starts. There's a strike. Archer has been filling in for him, and Colomé filling in for Cobb, and they're hoping David Price. I think David Price has made it clear he would like to make his next start at the major league level, not another rehab start.
I think he mentioned that, and you have to be careful how much how strongly you say
That's
things
right.
like that.
He just wants to be back in the major leagues. You can't blame him, but that will be a big piece to add back to this rotation, which has started to get better.
Yeah, what you do what's going to happen.
Surprisingly ineffective at times, this rotation for the Rays. Torrey Hunter swings and misses.
Right.
High fastball. He's chased out of the strike zone early in this at-bat. He comes in also hitting .301. Torrey steps out, talks to himself a little bit, gets ready to dig back in. Colomé does not give up many home runs. Didn't see the breakdown in the minor leagues. You would assume he gets a lot of ground balls with a sinking fastball and not many home runs. In the middle of the infield is in double play depth. Slide step, 0-2 inside. Crowd into it early.
Yeah, I was anxious to see what he would do because of the command problems he had. Will he use a setup pitch? Will he go right after him? I would have thought go right after him. From a catcher standpoint, you don't want to use too many setup pitches when you're ahead with a pitcher like this that struggled with his command.
It's a good defensive infield. Starting with Longoria at third. Escobar as good as they get at short. Zobra's terrific at second. Loney very good at first. He just about covers it. Here's the 1-2 to Hunter. Swing and a pop-up. Behind the mound, and that will actually get into shallow center field. Zobus goes out a couple of steps into the outfield turf here at Tropicana Field. Makes the catch for out number 1. First inning brought to you by U.S. Park. $8 a day every day at U.S. Park. Tigers took 2 of 3 from the Rays in Detroit a little over 3 weeks ago. Nice hand from Miguel Cabrera as he steps in.
And that's something,
A lot of the best opposing players get booed, and I think opposing ballparks now we're hearing just more cheers than anything else
from Miguel. That's right. When he came out even before batting practice, MVP. I mean, they know and appreciate what they have seen. It's seen really one of the great hitters in baseball today, and in time, one of the greatest hitters of all time. No question in my mind.
Steps in hitting .368. 22 home runs, 78 RBIs for Cabrera. He's only 4 RBIs ahead of Chris Davis now. He's on another tear. There's a swing and a foul out of play.
You had to bring that up. Oh, boy. He's something.
3 years in a row with a 4-game series, and memorable 4-game series here at the Trop. Tigers swept in a 4-game series in 2010, and that certainly did no hope for their hopes of making a run in the Central Division that year. 2011, the Tigers came in, took 3 out of 4, and that launched them to the big finish as they ran away from the Central. And then the Tigers came back in last year and again took 3 out of 4 from the Rays here at Tropicana Field. Fly ball, left field, way back in left and gone, a home run. Miguel Cabrera launches here in the first. Number 23, it's a 2-run shot. And the Tigers take a 2-0 lead.
Well, folks, we just can't say enough about him. I mean, he's just that special. That was supposed to be a slider, and it was up in the zone. That's called a hanger, and the big man doesn't miss many of those. The average hitter might foul that off, but not the big man. That ball came back right over the plate, and goodbye. What a swing he has. Boy, I'd say we marvel at it all the time, don't we, Dan? It's just fabulous. Bagel home run, make delicious flavors for over 100 years. My goodness.
He hits line drives out, towering fly balls out. That was kind of right in between. A line drive, fly ball. It went a long way.
Quickly.
It got at him here in a hurry.
So you mentioned Davis. He heard that, see.
There's a swing and a fly ball off the bat of fielder. This one's deep. Joyce is going back, tracking it, and he'll make the catch. About a step away from the wall in left center field. Fielder trying to go back-to-back. He doesn't hit many opposite field home runs, and that one was just a little bit shy. It's out number 2.
Terrific carry.
2 down. That leaves it up to Victor Martinez. Victor's hitting 228. 6 home runs, 40 RBIs. Getting to that point in the season, 3 games away, where you can just double everybody's numbers to get a feel for what kind of pace they're on. Always kind of measuring point.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Stick. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good measuring point.
Cabrera's at 80 RBIs now in game 78. You can figure that one out.
Oh, yes.
That's pretty amazing. He's kept up the RBI a game pace the entire first half of the season. Victor Martinez takes a strike.
Well, he is such a player. Somebody might have said to him, Davis is getting close. Was that you?
Because no, it wasn't me. I think he had a 15 RBI lead not that long ago. It was at least double digits about a week and a half ago. And today it was 4. There's a pitch inside to Victor. He also wants to keep Davis within range in the home run department, too, because he's got such a big lead in the batting department. He wants to make sure that he's still there in home runs. And now he's just, 5 away from Chris Davis.
Yeah,
certainly can still reel him in.
And he hasn't gotten real hot yet.
He hasn't gotten hot. 2-0 Tigers in the first. Victor batting lefty against the righty. There is the slider down and in. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Martinez. 3 games here in Tampa, 4 in Toronto, and 4 in Cleveland. That's the road trip for the Tigers.
That's going to be some long days, boy. That's It's gone a long time, Dan.
9 and 10 game trips are the norm for the longest. 11 is a real rarity. There's a swing and a line drive foul down the first base line. Tigers did win their last series on the road. That was in Minnesota, but 2 and 7 in their previous 9 road series. To give you a feel for the struggles, one was a 4-game wipeout in Houston.
Oh, man.
When Houston clearly was, Jim, I mean, they're a better team now.
Yes, they
they're
are.
a team that's not a pushover anymore.
No.
They were a pushover back then.
They sure
and
were.
The Tigers took full advantage.
Absolutely. And rightly so.
Still 1-2 on Martinez. 2-0 Tigers. The pitch. He's swinging a fly ball left field, fairly deep again. Joyce going back onto the track, tracking it, and he'll make the catch again, a step away from the wall and left.
How about that? He's throwing some hangers, Dan.
Tigers hit a lot of fly balls for a long distance in the first. Only one went out. Cabrera's 2-run shot. 23rd home run of the year. We go to the bottom of the first. 2-0 Tigers. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. Nothing Tigers on the Miguel Cabrera home run. Rays now get ready to face the 28-year-old native of St. Louis, Missouri, Max Scherzer.
Well, you know the numbers are great. I'm going to wait after the first pitch, but he's making his 16th start. You know he's 11-0. I'll mention that.
Matt Joyce, the ex-Tiger, will lead off, and the first pitch is a fastball inside ball 1.
Numbers are fantastic. 3.05 ERA, 122 strikeouts, 103 and a third innings of work, 70 base hits, 24 walks. That's fantastic numbers.
1-0 pitch. Joyce swings, and it's a high fly ball left center, not deep. Converging Kelly and Jackson. Jackson will call off Kelly, make the catch, 1 out. One
start against the Rays this year. Win number 8 at home. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. His record here is 1-1 with a 3.78 ERA. But look what he's done. When you look at a 27-7 record dating back to the start of 2012. Just fantastic what he's done with his arsenals. The batting average against, fantastic. 203 for left-handers with 5 home runs, 173 with 4 home runs for right-handers. That is phenomenal.
Desmond Jennings at the plate, a right-handed batter. He swings and fouls it back to the screen behind home plate, strike 1.
It's been a pleasure to watch him develop. At first, the first couple of years, fastball, changeup, occasional breaking ball. Now the whole thing. One of the best fastballs in baseball. Changeup is great. Slider, curveball, you name it.
Strike 1 pitch. There is a slider for a called strike, a little bit up in the strike zone. Jennings takes it. No balls and 2 strikes. Jennings hitting .256. Been in the leadoff spot and then bumped down against all right-handed pitching, so Matt Joyce could move into that spot, and it works out well for the Rays. There's a swing and a foul back to the screen. Rays offense that has cooled noticeably since the series in Detroit. They came into Detroit second in the American League in run scoring. Now they're 6th, averaging just 4 runs a game since. And in the last 15 games, just 3 runs a game. And that's the kind of offense they've seen in recent years.
Exactly.
Here in Tampa, the 0-2 slider just misses low and outside. The 4th pitch of the at-bat is ball 1. And you mentioned it, the numbers individually against Max in this lineup outside of one guy.
Yeah.
Yunel Escobar are not very good.
Not good at all.
So you like this matchup.
Absolutely.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. He's swinging a ground ball foul. He just reached out and punched the slider down the first baseline foul. Tigers only gave up 6 runs in the 3 games in Detroit.
Well, for example, this young man's 1 for 9. Leadoff batter was 2 for 13. I mean, you go right down the line, and Max, his command is so good, his feel for pitching, the rhythm, mechanics, everything is just working perfectly.
Here's the 1-2. Changeup, and Jennings lays off. Zobrist is waiting on deck.
A long talk with Mac McClendon and Doug Fister about his fastball.
Here's the 2-2. Slider in the dirt.
And they've both been around the game for a long time, and I said it's the best fastball I think I've ever seen. Not just with power, movement, and explosion, the type of movement he has where it tails a little bit away from a left-handed hitter and actually rides up a little bit. And they all agreed they've never seen one like that. So that's his number 1 pitch.
3-2, swing and a miss. He stayed with the slider and got Jennings in a long at-bat.
That's a hard slider.
That's a hard slider. Heck of a pitch to get Jennings. One of Max's big improvements this year. He has figured out ways. We've seen the improvement with Justin Verlander the last couple of years, where if the pitch count is high early, he knows how to go through batters quickly. to get easy outs and keep the pitch count low through the middle innings. In Max's case, Jim, he's kept the pitch count down most games right from the start, allowing him to work into the 7th and 8th innings.
And, you just look what he's done. It's so incredible.
Ben Zobrist, switch hitter, takes a fastball strike, kind of a crossfire fastball. Zobrist hitting .271. He's lifted the batting average since we last saw him. The power is still missing from this bat, and this is a team that does rely on the home run. The strike one pitch. Just outside. That's where Pena was set up, but it's off the plate. Home plate umpire Brian Knight says ball one.
Dan, I think it's interesting. Their notes have said they have few swing and misses. Fewest swing and misses as a lineup.
Here's the 1-1 swinging a ground ball, soft to second base, knee high bounce for Infante. Lazy flip to fielder. Zobrist is out, and a 1-2-3 first inning for Max Scherzer. Beautiful. We head to the second, 2-0 Tigers on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Part by McDonald's, which brews the official coffee of the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Second inning, 2-0 Tigers. Miguel Cabrera with a 2-run home run.
A beauty.
And the first inning is 23rd of the year, RBI 79 and 80. Our second inning brought to you by Bell Tire. Go to belltire.com. Enter to win the Bell Tire Blast Zone contest. Played every home game during the season. 6, 7, 8 hitters, Peralta, Kelly, and Infante against Alex Colomé. His uncle, Jesus Colomé, was in the Rays system for a long time. Relief pitcher. First pitch to Peralta. He swings and fouls it out of play. Tigers hit about, well, what would you say? Roughly 1,200 feet worth of home runs, or worth of fly balls in that first inning. One was a home run. The other two fly balls went about, 380. I'm giving Miguel about 420 on his home run.
You better believe it. And quickly. Quickly.
There's a pitch low and outside corner for a called strike.
That's right, Dan.
Peralta's hitting 322.
Before we went away, I mentioned about the Rays. Second, I think, in the league with the fewest swings and misses, except this is Detroit Tigers starting pitching.
Which is looking to get back on track, and Doug Fister, I'm willing to, there's a line drive fouled on the third base line. Go out on a limb and say Doug Fister's start yesterday is going to get this rotation back on track into a good groove. Because it's a rare time when they had 8 starts, and really outside of Max Scherzer's start, 8 starts that were not very good. After that long stretch where starters were going 7 innings, it seemed like every night.
Right, and he was terrific yesterday. I mean, that was quite a matchup, really.
Jeff Jones said he just battled in that game yesterday. There's a pitch outside. Final line looked really good, but he said he didn't quite have that pitch that he needs against lefties. Either the cutter or the swing back the way he wanted it.
Yeah, the
umpire knew that everybody needed 7 innings from him, and he found a way.
Well, he said, do you think the umpire squeezed me a little bit inside? Of course I said, I think he did. Of course I said that.
But during the game, we didn't.
What?
No, I know.
Dougie.
That's fine to say, too.
Yeah, exactly.
But during the game, we thought he wasn't getting that swing.
Right. Yeah.
There's a swing and a foul out of play. Well, you talked about Colomé centering the plate. He certainly did on the Cabrera home run. I mean, that pitch was in the center of the plate.
Yeah, they said it was a cutter, but I really think it was an off-speed pitch that kind of a little swing-back action.
And the Tigers so far have had good swings against his stuff.
Sure have.
Again, he works from the stretch, making just his 3rd start with the Rays. The pitch, way inside. The Rays have leaned heavily on rookie starters in recent years, and their track record certainly speaks. It's kind of like Oakland.
Yeah,
they bring up rookie pitchers. They come up here and they do quite well.
Sure.
And they've had to lean on 3 different ones this year.
And both organizations don't come up with many hitters.
Not lately.
No.
Oakland did at the end of last year. That was an interesting ground ball to third base. To his right, Longoria grabs it along the line. Long throw to first sinks, but grabbed by Loney to his right. Peralta is out. You look at the run scoring in this ballpark, Tigers and Rays. In those 3-4 game series, so 12 games total, Jim, these two teams have scored a grand total of 73 runs in the 12 games. So combined, they're averaging barely 6 runs a game in the 12 games played here since 2010.
Well, when they played here, if I was still playing, I would have gone to the locker room and said, guys, did we win? Did we win that game? I mean, that's how tough the games are here.
Don Kelly batting, and he takes a strike. The Tigers have averaged about 3.5 runs a game in those 12 games, and the Rays have averaged about 3 runs a game. Actually, the Tigers are just over 3, and the Rays are right at 3. So that's how you get to 6.1 to be exact. Fly ball, right center field, on the run, Jennings, and he'll slow down and make the catch. He was on a dead sprint, and then he just outran it. Don Kelly put a good swing on it, but it's out number 2.
Yeah, he did put a good swing on it. That's kind of no man's land. I want to mention we talked about a new summer 8-pack that we started talking about. It's 8 games for your choice of 8 Tiger games, called the Summer 8-Pack, $26. Here's the number, 313-471-2255, or visit tigers.com/Summer8. Summer 8-Pack, new by the Tigers. And Dan and me.
Brings up Omar Infante, hitting .296. First pitch from Column A is low and outside. So if you're looking for the Tigers offense to break out in the 3 games here, unlikely. But what you're aiming for is a series win, and it's probably going to be tight, well-pitched games, low-scoring, well-pitched games.
Yeah, and again, their pitching is not, as you're skidding there, but it's not the real strong suit that it used to be.
I mean, if you had to face Cobb and Price in this series,
there you go.
Changes the look of everything. There's a strike. But we'll see Roberto Hernandez, who's had some good starts. But the Tigers had some success against him in Detroit.
No, but that's not David Price, that's for sure.
And they face Hellickson, who certainly has had some couple of good years, but he too has been up and down this year.
Yes, he has.
Here's the 1-1 to Infante, swinging a line drive the other way toward left center, and coming in is Jennings to make the catch. Boy, the Tigers have had good swings in the first 2 innings. 2 long fly balls ended up by the wall in the first inning for outs. 2 line drives in the second inning. Tigers go 1-2-3 against Column A.
They're trying.
We head to the bottom of the second inning in St. Pete at Tropicana Field. 2-0 Tigers. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. Pitch Speed today brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. 2-0 Tigers. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Longoria, Loney, and Will Myers. The new face in this lineup since the Tigers last saw the Rays. There's a fastball at 91 to Longoria. Just missed off the plate away. Longoria's hitting .299. His numbers just keep going up every month. There's a backup slider for a strike on the inside corner. 8 home runs.
Nice call.
8 home runs for Longoria in the month of June.
Yeah, he got it together. He's the big bopper.
Here's a swing and a ground ball off of Max Scherzer. Backhanded by Infante behind second. Turns and throws and gets Longoria. What a play. It looked like Max got a piece of it as it went by, and that slowed it enough for Infante to make the grab and make a fine throw to get Longoria.
Well, I'm not sure. Might have been going between his legs, but he was shaded up the middle, so he didn't have far to go. But Longoria runs pretty good, and he got rid of it quickly and just got the big man. Not a good pitch, 0-2, and, well, he knows it, too.
Couldn't tell in the replay whether it hit Max or not.
Looked like it went through his legs.
The mound might have slowed it down, but that was a great play by Infante. Curveball low and outside to James Loney. He cooled off for a bit, and then he's heated right back up. And his numbers, well, they have to be thrilled with what he's done through the first half of this season.
Really?
Reaching the midway point, he's on pace basically with one more home run for a 20-80 season. There's a off-speed pitch down and in on Loney, and it's now 2-0. Power was what was lacking for the last several years in Los Angeles. Really his whole career outside of a half season, his rookie season. Now Loney swings and misses. Max stays off speed.
Well,
heck of a pitch in a 2-0.
He is 5 for 11 lifetime with a home run, so given a couple home runs up to this lineup, but as far as good batting average, forget it. Just the one that you mentioned.
There's a swing and a miss. The 84-mile-an-hour fastball, or changeup, followed by the 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and Loney was late.
I just love that fastball. Boy. Explosion at the plate. Hitters look bewildered. That's good.
Loney's hitting .309. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back fastballs. He overpowered him right there. Second strikeout for Max Scherzer. Tonight's lineup outside of Yunel Escobar, who is the number 9 hitter. So the 1 through 8 hitters have combined to hit 171 against Max Scherzer in just over 70 at bats.
Yeah, if Escobar wasn't in the lineup, it would be ridiculously low, wouldn't it? Well, here's the kid I've been anxious to see anyway.
Will Myers is at the plate. The only question was not if, but when this young man would be brought up from the minor leagues, and they waited the standard 2 months. And there's a fastball strike on the outside corner, delays the whole arbitration process and his march to free agency, and it makes sense for a team that has to watch every dollar. Will Myers is now up, and he's had a good start with the Rays. There's a fastball low and outside, grand slam home run at Yankee Stadium, certainly a highlight. And this young man, Rays certainly hope, will bring some power to this lineup. Got a stance that is not unlike Longoria's. There's a swing and a miss at a slider away. Very upright, slightly open. Very upright stance.
I tell you, it's just like Longoria's. I was going to say that. I mean, I don't know if he changed it or what, but it's a good-looking stance.
Left foot back, cocks the bat over the right shoulder. The 1-2 pitch. Crossfire fastball just misses outside.
Wow, that's Max's pitch. He owns that pitch.
41 at-bats, 10 games. Will Myers has a couple of home runs and 8 RBIs. More than held his own so far. Here's the 2-2. Swinging a soft ground ball tapped foul down the third base line. Traded to the Rays in the most discussed trade of the offseason for James Shields, who's pitched terrifically for Kansas City. But it's a Kansas City team now that is looking for some offensive help.
Yeah, and it's ironic that they need offensive help, and they traded offense to get pitching, and never thinking they wouldn't have the offense.
2-0 Tigers, bottom of the second, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Wicked slider gets Myers.
Well, the slider's been electric with the fastball. 3
strikeouts for Max Scherzer, all swinging through 2. We head to the top of the third at Tropicana Field. 2-0 Tigers over the Rays on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Tigers, top of the third inning brought to you by Sunoco and the Free Fuel 5000. Get the decal, get spotted, and win. On the ground ball to second base, Infante fielded it. The one thing that struck me, Jim, is that it didn't look like Longoria got down that line very quickly, and sure enough, Evan Longoria is out of this game.
Yeah,
that's a blow, obviously, to the Rays.
Yeah, if it's bad, it's a real blow. But maybe, hopefully, for the Rays, after
maybe just favoring a hamstring that was tight or something.
We'll keep him on the bench until Monday, no matter what.
Your heart is always in the right place.
Thank you, Dan.
When it comes to opposing star players.
Right.
There's a fastball strike. Pena at the plate. Yeah, and we just watched a replay of it, and you could see he was slowing down. Quick out of the box, and then about halfway down, started to slow down. Something obviously was aggravating him. Pena takes a pitch outside, 1-1. In his first start, Alex Colomé against Miami. And again, that's one of the weaker offensive teams anywhere. Got a ton of swings and misses, 19 swings and misses, speaking to his stuff. Here's the 1-1 inside, and it hit him. Yes, it did. Thought it might have hit his bat, but Pena sold it right away.
Yes, he did.
And the home plate umpire agreed, Brian Knight.
He's a catcher, very intelligent.
Pena heads down to first base against the Yankees, and that's, again, a weakened lineup, but only 5 swings and misses. And, Jim, that's one thing you noticed the first time through this lineup. I think Torrey Hunter's the only one who swung and missed at a pitch from Colomé.
Well, from what I've heard and what I've seen so far, everything's hard. I mean, it's he doesn't have a lot of deception, and the command of where he's throwing the ball also. We've seen a lot of balls down the heart of the plate. That's not good. It's good for the hitters.
Well, it was part of your pregame plan for the Tigers.
Exactly.
And he has helped follow that plan so far.
Right, we appreciate it.
Ball's over the heart of the plate.
The art of pitching. Up here, you got to have it.
Odorizzi also came over in that trade from Kansas City. He's made some starts for the Rays. Archer is filling in right now in the rotation. We'll see him in this series. And Colomé filling in the rotation. The strike one pitch, swinging a ground ball to short. Big hop for Escobar. Quick toss to Zobrist. Relay to first, and they got him. Oh, boy, I didn't think they turned the double play. It was a high chopper, and it's a 6-4-3 double play that erases Pena from the base pass.
Well, I'm surprised Zobrist threw a changeup to first. It looked like he did get a good grip on it, and he didn't get there very fast, and, well, I guess they got him. But I'm surprised.
Well, I thought he was safe live. I'm going to watch one more replay. Well, didn't tell us either way. Just looked live like he had won the race to the bag, but they get that play right an awful high percentage of the time. Torrey Hunter batting, and he swings and fouls it out of play. 2-0 Tigers on the strength of a Cabrera home run in the first inning. He's waiting in the on-deck circle.
You know, there's no sun here because there's a big shadow in here, too. He's the only one. It's kind of phenomenal, isn't it?
From all different directions with these light banks.
Just him.
Hunter popped out his first time up. There's a pitch way inside. You got the catwalks here at Tropicana Field that haven't really come into play as much as the Tigers have been here in recent years. If a ball hits one of the two lower ones, it's a home run, and then in the upper ones, it's an adventure, is what it is.
Good luck.
Hunter hits a ground ball to short. Knee-high bounce for Escobar. Step to his right, plants and throws. Good throw over to Loney. Hunter is out, and so are the Tigers. They get the leadoff hit batter and then go quietly on 4 pitches. We head to the bottom of the third inning. 2-0 Tigers. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. Today's game brought to you in part by ABC Warehouse, the official electronics provider of the Detroit Tigers radio network. 2-0 Tigers, bottom of the third, 6 up, 6 down against Max Scherzer. Scott, Lobatone, and Escobar facing him here in the third inning. And the first pitch to Luke Scott, a lefty, is a strike. Pitch count for Max Scherzer is on the high side at 37 through the first 2 innings. That would have been a fairly typical first 2 innings for him last year. Not this year. There's a swing and a foul out of play, and it really stands out, Jim. His average inning last year was 17 and a half pitches. This year it's 15, just a little over 15. That's a big improvement in 1 year.
It really is, and that just shows you how good he has been, with his arsenal. Just phenomenal.
And that has allowed him to average 1 full inning more in his starts this year compared to a year ago. It's basically 7 innings, just under, versus just under 6 innings last year. And really the same number of pitches, just a couple more pitches to average a full inning more. There's a swing and a miss. What a changeup to get Luke Scott. 4th strikeout for Max Scherzer, 3 in a row.
Just fantastic. And again, I go back to mechanics, the rhythm, the follow through. I was talking to Doug Pfister about it. I said, on our starters, I'm having a hard time now recognizing when you throw an off-speed pitch. I said, you guys, your mechanics have been good. You stay out of the same keyhole all the time for the most part. I've only been able to get it a couple times. And Doug, you haven't got you at all yet, but I'm working on it.
7 innings start for Pfister yesterday, and see if the Tigers can get back on good track. There's a breaking ball strike to Lobatone, curveball to Lobatone. Really, it's been just 2 little 8-game stretches. I guess the biggest puzzling part about those 8-game stretches, Jim, for the starters, there's a pitch low and outside. It was 37 games very good, 8 games poor, 23 games very good again, even better, and then another 8 games that they were poor. It wasn't just there was a fall off; they fell off the cliff for 8 games. It was a swing and a weak ground ball to third. Cabrera's got it, fires over to first to get Lobatone, a severe jam job.
Oh, you don't even want to run when you hit it like that. I'm out. I'm going to the dugout.
And that's what Jim Lennon was talking about today. It wasn't just a little fall off; it was a huge drop off for those 8 games that really kind of messed up the bullpen for a while.
Yeah, it really did. And it's strange because as good as this starting rotation is, even myself, I have to learn that they're human.
Yep.
And there's going to be peaks and valleys.
There's going to be ups and downs.
And I've tried to explain that to the fans, but I have to explain it to myself also. Because
every year I'm reminded of that.
It's surprising, It's because they're so good. This starting rotation, as I said, to take these guys to the top of the mountain and capture the flag this year.
Tigers have had 2 8-game stretches for their starters with an ERA around 8. And the rest of the year have been, as good as we've seen in a long time in Detroit. Yunel Escobar is that one guy that Max has to worry about. Everybody else in this lineup is at 178, but Yunel Escobar,
11 for 28 with a home run.
Here's the strike one pitch. High and outside. And you know Max Scherzer knows that and has a plan for Yunel Escobar.
But I will say, this is a different Max. That's my story.
It is. It's version 2.0. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Whoa, that changeup is good tonight. It's his go-to pitch. He says he always has it. It looks especially good tonight.
Well, you know, it's, as I said to everybody, it's so interesting. Max and Porcello both, how they developed all these pitches now to be a complete starting pitcher. And, you know, for a long time, Max was fastball, changeup, slider once in a while. Not anymore.
Here's the 1-2. Slider in the dirt. Did he go and appeal to first? Ooh, he did not. Dan Iasonia says it's 2-2. Escobar's hitting 245. He's really picked it up, though, since the middle part of May. He's hit 299. They dropped him in the number 9 spot. Seems comfortable there.
Keeps hitting that way. They might put him up cleanup since if Longoria
2-2.
can't play.
Ground ball to second, hit hard, but a good play by Infante to his left. Spins, throws to fielder at first. Hard hit ball is out number 3. Not many of those tonight against Max.
No.
He's retired the first 9 in order. We head to the 4th inning in St. Petersburg. 2-0 Tigers on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Every strikeout by a Tigers pitcher, University of Toledo students will be a little closer to turning their dreams into jobs. $100 deposited into UT's Strikeouts for Scholarships account. Tropicana Field, the site of this 3-game series, starting an 11-game road trip. The Tigers have a 2-0 lead against the Rays as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Tropicana Field completed in 1990, and they were looking for a baseball team for a long time.
They were.
Before the Rays settled in 1998. They thought they had the White Sox.
That's true, yes.
The story goes the clock stopped in the state legislature in Illinois when they came to a vote about whether they would keep the Chicago White Sox and fund a new stadium. and that's why the White Sox didn't end up being the Tampa Bay Sox or whatever they would have been called.
Green Sox. It's nice and green down here.
Cabrera at the plate. He swings it as a fly ball left field. Way back and gone.
Wow.
Oh, he launched again. Number 24, and there was no doubt when it left his bat. 3-0 Tigers in the 4th.
Well, folks, I'm running out of superlatives. It's just magnificent. That was another hanger. It looked like the same pitch he hit out the first time, and it had a lot of the plate, and it got a lot of the big man's bat. Dan, I can't remember one out there. I'm sure there has been, maybe hit by the big man, but I can't remember. But again, right down the heart of the plate, very similar to the first home run. Big old home run, the party pop for over 100 years. My goodness. Wow. Oh, what a swing.
4 sections over from the foul pole and about 25 rows up. There's a line drive, base hit off the bat of fielder, up the gap in right center. Chased down by Desmond Jennings, and fielder will cruise into second with a double. 2 pitches, home run double, 4th inning.
But, Dan, what we've seen so far is a lot of balls over the plate, number 1. Not a lot of movement on his pitches. And, yes, he has a great arm, but you have to, up here, you have to be able to change speeds, hit your corners, have a little deception with your arsenal. And, again, so far, I just don't see it.
Jim Hickey out to have a word, the fine pitching coach for the Rays. Let's pause right now for station identification. This is the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Conversation over. Jim Hickey back to that Rays dugout, probably thinking, I really don't think David Price needs another rehabilitation stop.
Well, if you throw the ball down the middle with not much movement on it against big leaguers, especially the big man, what do you expect?
Hard to interpret minor league numbers sometimes, but again, we knew his arm was good. But the thing that jumped out, Jim, was the fact that he did not give up many home runs in the minor leagues either of the last 2 years, either this year or last year. Only 5 home runs in 70 innings this year, 3 home runs in 92 innings last year. And the Tigers have hit almost 4 home runs in this game.
Well, there's no life on his arsenal at the plate.
Victor Martinez batting, and he takes a changeup low and outside, ball one. Tigers have had not only the 2 home runs from Cabrera, Fielder and Martinez hit balls a step away from the wall in left center in the first, and Kelly and Infante squared up 2 balls, deep line drive outs in the second inning. So each inning there have been at least 2 good swings. 3-0 Tigers win the fourth. Martinez swings and drives one hard to right field. Coming over to make the catch is Myers. Tagging his fielder, he'll head to third, and he will make it without a throw. Another ball absolutely scorched, and it looked like Myers might have lost it in the lights as he made the catch.
Yeah, I think he did just momentarily, and then he found it quickly. And that's not a good feeling, I wouldn't think. Boy, the Rockets, and this young man's got to be scratching his coconut because it's almost like batting practice, in all honesty. I mean, he's not fooling anybody.
No, he's not at all. As good a swings as we've seen through 14 batters in a game, maybe this year.
And, the crack of the bat is loud.
Indoors, it reverberates a little more. Rays will draw the infield in. The second baseman, Zobrist, shades way up the middle with the infield drawn in on Johnny Peralta, and he takes a pitch inside. We've seen more and more teams shifting on Peralta, and there is no team that shifts more than the Tampa Bay Rays, although I noticed against Prince Fielder they didn't overshift like they had in the past.
Right, and they led the world in that, starting with Miguel. Was that 2 years ago?
I just remember Brennan Bosch was the guy behind him.
Yeah.
There was a strike. I think it was that year that they walked him 4 or 5 times with a runner on first. No, it was 3 games in a row, and each time the situation was nearly the same. In the late innings, Tigers down, man on first, and they kept putting him on, and Brennan Bosch just couldn't deliver that big hit after they walked him. Infield in, not right up to the edge of the field turf surface. 2 or 3 steps behind. There's a pitch in the dirt, blocked by Lobaton, sliding to his right. The secondary pitches just are not really a weapon right now for Column A.
Yeah, I just looked at that one, and then you compare that to Max Scherzer's. There's no comparison. I mean, that was 83, and Max's is 88. And with late action on it, again, he threw a breaking ball there that it had movement, but it was early movement. Not good.
Joyce in left. Jennings shades a little to left center in center field. Myers shades toward the gap in right center. The 2-1 pitch, swinging a broken bat. Soft ground ball on one hop to short. Escobar's got it. Flips over to Loney at first.
Ouch.
Fielder has to hold. He's at third with 2 outs now for Don Kelly.
Boy, you talk about getting stalled off. Okay, gang. White Sox will be in Motown July 9th and 10th. It's the Tigers Summer Fun Pack. Here's what you get. Food voucher, a ticket, Tigers t-shirt. It's $35. Visit tigers.com/fun to order your tickets. The White Sox. Wow.
19 games left for the White Sox. There'll be a stretch where the Tigers play 13 out of 31 against the White Sox right after the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Still think that's a team that will heat up, but maybe not. They just never have. There's a pitch that gets by Lobaton. Fielder's coming home, and he will score without a throw. Pitch down in the strike zone. We'll have to see how it's called, but it looked like Lobaton missed it. And the Tigers now have a 4-0 lead.
Well, I call it a pass ball, but I just heard a wild pitch. That's a pass ball. That's a pass ball. That's a lazy glove. That ball, this is a big
Didn't bounce, Jim.
That ball's got to be caught. I mean, my goodness.
It did not bounce. It was low,
That's right.
But it just went off his glove.
That's right. It's a slow glove hand.
I would think that might be changed, although they were pretty quick to say wild pitch. But a ball that doesn't bounce and he doesn't have to reach a long way for it, Jim?
Yeah. That's
There's a swing and a ground ball to first. Nice big bounce for Loney. He'll glove it, make the play unassisted. Kelly is out. The Tigers add 2. Home run from Cabrera, his second of the game. Fielder scores on the wild pitch. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-0 Tigers. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. Fourth inning today is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm. Call 1-800-CALL-SAM. Find out why Comerica Bank is the leading bank for business. You can learn more at Comerica.com/business. Max Scherzer facing Matt Joyce. And the first pitch is a changeup outside. Joyce was traded to the Rays from the Tigers for Edwin Jackson. So if you follow that trade, here's the 1-0 pitch, just swing and a miss on another changeup. Oh, that's a beauty. 1 ball, 1 strike. Edwin Jackson was traded to Arizona for Max Scherzer.
Right.
So these two, if you just take one more trade out, really end up being the pieces traded for each other. The Tigers end up with Max Scherzer. There's a swing and a foul out of play by getting Edwin Jackson.
Yeah, I'm happy about that, boy.
It's funny, Jim. Max Scherzer was, remember at the time of that trade, there was discussion. Is his future as a reliever or as a starter?
There was you're right.
There was a lot of that talk.
There was, sure was.
A lot of people thought he was maybe better suited as a reliever. Swing and a miss at another off-speed pitch in the dirt. Everything's clicking right now. The throw down to first to fielder to complete the strikeout. Max Scherzer has 5 strikeouts, all on swinging third strikes.
Well, like Doug Fister, some of the other pitchers, he throws 2 types of changeups. One swing and miss is one. The one before that was a contact changeup. That's a swing and miss changeup, the circle change. But also, Dan, there were times that Max was so inconsistent, you just wondered about his future. Early on. He's made tremendous progress.
Everything has clicked for Max this year. There's a swing and a high pop-up. By third base, Cabrera waits for it to come down into foul territory, back into fair to make the catch on the dirt just in front of the outfield turf. Jennings' first pitch swinging is out number 2.
I love where Miguel gets that big mitt up, one hand. Now, a lot of old-timers will say that's not the way to do it, but let's let him do it the way he wants to do it. I don't care to mention that to him.
2 down, 11 up, 11 down against Max. We were looking 9 up, 9 down. It just reminds you how tough it is to just do 9 up, 9 down to start a game.
Absolutely.
It's only been done 3 other times this year by Tigers pitchers.
As good as the starting rotation is.
There's a swing and a fly ball, right field. This one's deep. Trouble! Gone. Ben Zobrist hits number 5. And the Rays are on the board now, trailing 4-1.
Well, that was an inviting fastball there up in the zone, and it wasn't his number 1 fastball, that's for sure, and he paid the price. Well, that's, I guess if you're a Rays fan, that's the way to break up a no-hitter, huh?
That was the longest stretch of the year by any Tigers starter, 11 up, 11 down.
How about that? Boy.
And on mind how tough it is to do it. We've seen a few of those home runs in the 4th and 5th innings to break up.
Yes, we have.
Can't really say a no-hitter in progress. You can say they hadn't given up any hits.
Right.
I don't think that no-hitter's really broken up until the 7th or 8th innings.
I'm with
you.
Yes,
or later.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. Absolutely. We get some reports sometimes. No-hitter through 4. Really?
Somebody had his no-hit bid broken up in the 5th.
No, that's right. Not
really.
That's right. Hello.
Evan Longoria takes a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kelly Johnson. Looking at my scorecard, and the Rays fervently hoping that Evan Longoria, just whatever it was that took him out of this game, it looked like something related to his legs because he slowed down running to first on a ground ball, is temporary. You talk about the value of one guy to one team. He missed 85 games last year with injuries, and they were 41 and 44. With him in the lineup, 47 and 27.
Huh. Oh, he's the man.
Here's the 1-2 in the dirt, and he had played in every game this year for the Rays.
Now, wasn't that a leg problem last year that put him out?
Yeah. Kept him out a long time. And the Rays really made the surge when he came back. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. That was just a half cut by Kelly Johnson, who's in a funk right now.
That was a swipe, wasn't it?
And he strikes out, the 6th strikeout for Max Scherzer. He allows his 10th home run of the year. It's a solo shot. We played 4 now in St. Petersburg, and the Tigers have a 4-1 lead over the Rays on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Today's game brought to you in part by U.S. Park, the official parking service of the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Alex Colomé finishing his warm-up tosses, top of the 5th inning. On the strength of 2 Miguel Cabrera home runs, the Tigers have a 4-1 lead now after the home run from Ben Zobrist. Talked about Tropicana Field opening in 1990. Tampa Bay Lightning were really the first big team, tenant of this ballpark. And this place got loud.
Yeah, it did.
For those games with the Tampa Bay Lightning hockey team. When the Rays moved in '98. It has been in a very pitcher-friendly ballpark through the years. The last 3 years, it is second only to Seattle for holding down run scoring, and it is a severe impact on run scoring for the Rays and their opponents. Omar Infante will lead off. There's a pitch down and in. Not many home runs hit. It's the middle of the pack ballpark for home runs, but it holds down doubles, and you really notice it in the batting average of both the Rays and their opponents. Here's the 1-0 to Infante. He takes a strike. They have combined to hit .231 in this ballpark the last 3 years. And on the road, those same teams have combined to hit almost .250, .249.
You know, it's interesting. Inside, normally the ball carries better. The elements are a lot better.
Now Infante swings and pops it up. Foul, first base side. Loney coming over. He's got room, and he'll make the catch right by the stands. Infante's 0 for 2. He smoked the ball his first time up. He pops out to start the fifth.
All right, gang. Batting practice at the old ballpark. August 9th. Former Tigers great pitcher. That's Dave told me to say that. Dave Rosemont, it will be pitching to you. Let me say it again, Dave. Great Tiger pitcher, Dave Rosemont. Call 313-471-2550 or visit tigers.com. The great one.
Ryan Pena, number 9 hitter, hit by a pitch his first time up. He raced on a double play off the bat of Austin Jackson. Tigers have had good swings in every inning against Colomé, except for the third inning. Pena was hit by a pitch, and then there's a couple of ground balls, and the inning was over before you knew it.
Yeah.
Pena takes a pitch outside.
The showman's going to have to, as good as his arm is, he's going to have to learn some movement on his pitches, number one, I think, and better command.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Strike. That's a good changeup on the outside corner. They said that was a pitch that he's still trying to get the feel for. He's thrown a couple of good ones in this game. Kelly Johnson at third for Longoria. We have not yet received word on Longoria's injury. I mean, it didn't look anything major. He just slowed down on his way to first on a ground ball. Here's the 1-1 to Pena, hitting .386 as a left-handed batter. He takes a fastball at 94 for a called strike. Pitch Speeds brought to you each and every game by Xfinity. Your home for the most live sports.
You know, it's interesting through the years, Dan. I've said this many times. There's fastballs at 94, then there's fastballs at 94 that are better. Right now, I don't think his gets in the better category yet.
1-2. Slider is low.
And that
pretty average 94, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
for me, that is number one, movement, and number two, location. So right now, I don't see that. So it's a fastball. He's got to get a 94, 95 mile an hour fastball that you go wow about.
Tigers lead by 3. We're in the fifth. A lot of success for the Tigers against the Rays. 13-4 their last 17 meetings with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Beautiful.
There's 2 meetings this year. They took 2 out of 3 in Detroit, and this wraps up the season series with the Rays. The 2-2. Strike called. Boy, fastball near the outside corner.
Well, apparently it was close enough.
Called third strike is the first strikeout for Colomé, who was averaging a strikeout an inning at AAA.
Now, here's what I like about Pena. He didn't say too much. He's the catcher for the Tigers. Didn't say too much. Looked at him and took off. That takes a lot of intestinal fortitude to do that, knowing that he's the catcher. I cannot mess up my pitcher.
And that was a pretty
obvious,
blatant example, Jim. You look at the catcher, Lobaton.
No question.
Caught the ball and brought it up a good 8 to 10 inches back into the strike zone and got the call.
That's right. Well, as bad as it was, you give him an A+, Pena.
I'm impressed with the discipline of a lot of hitters, not to say, but there are times they've got to be extremely frustrated at some called third strikes. You see it boil over, but really not too terribly often. There's a foul out of play down the right field line. I like what Will Myers said. He's struck out a few times already, I think 8 or 9 times, and some have been on close pitches, and he said, they remarked about his demeanor walking back to the dugout. He said, well, I figure umpires don't really want to hear from a rookie his first week in the big leagues.
Very good. He's right about that.
I figure I might as well just head back to the dugout.
Right. That's right. Earn your reputation. Be a nice guy.
Jackson waiting on the 1-1. And he takes a power fastball in. Off the plate, 2-1. A walk for Jackson. Rode home on the Cabrera home run in the first inning. Grounded into a double play in the third, but he's been on base in every game since his return from the disabled list. With a walk or a hit. Righty on righty in this matchup. The 2-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball hit hard, but right to Johnson at third. A step to his left. He gloves it, fires a strike to Loney. And another 1-2-3 inning for Colomé. So if Cabrera doesn't bat in the inning, the Tigers don't do a whole lot.
There you go.
We go to the bottom of the fifth inning, 4-1 Tigers. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. Every game by Sunoco in the Free Fuel 5000. Get the decal, get spotted, and win. One base runner for the Rays. It was a home run by Ben Zobrist, who'd hit one home run in his previous 49 games. James Loney takes a strike. Max will give up home runs, but it's pretty impressive. He gives up solo home runs, and he just doesn't allow much traffic on the base pass, period.
Well, he doesn't like that.
Here's the strike one. Fastball low and inside. Loney struck out his first time up. 6 strikeouts for Max through 4. Getting an update on Longoria, why he left tonight's game. Plantar fasciitis on his left foot. There's a strike on the outside corner. That is a very painful condition. There are different severities of it. Sometimes it can linger for a long time. Just ask Albert Pujols.
Yes, and well, this surface, too, I would think would even aggravate it that much more.
1-2, swing and a miss. Foul tip to the glove of the catcher, Pena. James Loney, contact hitter, strikes out.
Boy, he was overmatched there. I mean, that ball was in Pena's glove almost before he swung. Man.
7 strikeouts, all swinging. You see that a lot from Max.
Yeah, and Loney there, his butt was gone. I mean, he was trying to reach out and tap the ball away. I mean, he'd hit that ball, Max could have fielded it barehanded.
There's a lot of work that goes into each game for these pitchers in terms of how to attack hitters. And Max just really seems to be getting a better and better feel, Jim, of how to mix his pitches first, second time through the order, set up hitters. It's really the whole package this year, isn't it?
It is. In addition with all the pitches that you need as a starter.
Here's a swinging a line drive deep down the left field line. Forget about it. Gone, a home run. Will Myers just put a charge into one. Hanging breaking ball, and it was instant. Home run number 3 for the rookie.
Well, that tells you about the future of this young man. Got a hanging slider, didn't miss it. In other words, a lot of guys will foul that off, but this young man who has a high upside just hit a rocket out of here. That's his 3rd one, isn't it, or 4th one? Third, yeah, man. Yeah, that was an inviting slider there, boy.
Only been one other game this year where Max had allowed as many as 2 home runs in a game. 9 home runs total in over 100 innings this year. And that was against Houston, of all teams, in Detroit in May.
That's right.
Strike to Scott, who struck out on 3 pitches his first time up. 2 hits for the Rays, both home runs, no other base runners. The strike 1 pitch, a swing and a foul over the screen right below us. We're perched above home plate just to the third base side here at Tropicana Field. 4-2. Tigers' lead has been cut in half with these 2 home runs.
Looking at Scott's swing, Dan, he's muscling the ball. He used to at Baltimore, he had a good swing, but what we've seen down here is it's almost like a muscle swing.
Hitting .236, just 4 home runs. He takes a fastball high.
Muscle swing is like no bat release, a lot of upper body in it.
Scott just turned 35 years old. Long time with Baltimore, his most productive years. Power has stayed there. The batting average has fallen off the last 2 years. He swings here and fouls it out of play.
If you're going to have a DH with this ball club, you need a DH that can hurt somebody. And his average in power, well, it's hard to not think about another person to take that spot.
Because, again, this is a team that relies a lot on hitting home runs.
Right.
4th in the American League, 90 home runs. The 1-2. Swinging a ground ball wide of first. Missed by fielder to his right. A flip from Infante to Scherzer, and a stretch by Scherzer gets Scott at first base. Terrific play. Infante with a quick flip almost flipped it over Scherzer, and Max made a great stretch.
Defense, name of the game, and good pitching defense to be ready. And Omar is having a heck of a game. But the agility of Max to catch that ball and keep that little toe on the bag was quite exciting. Good job, Max.
His foot never left the bag, did it, Jim?
Right, that little toe, that big toe of his stayed on the bag. Look at it. Oh, man, looks like a ballerina, didn't he?
Pirouetting on the bag.
Arms flaring all over the place.
Fifth inning brought to you by the DMC. All-star lineups deserve all-star DMC docks. There's a swing and a tap foul right at home plate off the bat of Lobatone. Today's game is also brought to you in part by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, the official health care provider of the Detroit Tigers radio network. Lobatone, the number 8 hitter, hitting .263. He's got 4 home runs. Strike one pitch. Swing and a miss. Correction on the foot is what you heard in the background. Right foot, not left foot for Evan Longoria. Either way, he doesn't care. It's painful.
Right.
And knocked him out of this game.
Right.
He had just the one at bat and came out of the game after the ground out in the second inning. The 0-2 pitch, a swing and a foul. Fastball consistent. 92-94 today for Max. He has not walked anybody. He has struck out 7. Cabrera's off the line with Lobatone batting lefty, and Peralta shades up the middle. The outfield straight up. Fastball pops the glove of Pena, but it's well out of the strike zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 4-2 Tigers were in the 5th. 2 home runs for the Tigers, both by Cabrera. 2 home runs for the Rays for their only 2 hits of the game. The 1-2 outside, just missing with the fastball, and that's where Pena was set up. Max works over toward the third base side of the rubber, stands at a slight angle to home plate. The step back with the left foot, arms up over his head into his motion. The 2-2, swinging a high fly ball, shallow right center. Jackson comes in, cuts in front of Hunter, makes the catch. Lobatone is out, and so are the Rays for the second straight inning. A solo home run, this time from the rookie Will Myers. We played 5 at Tropicana Field. 4-2 Tigers on the Detroit Tigers radio network. Top of the 6th inning, first of 3, Tigers and Rays at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. 4-2, Tigers have the lead. Alex Colomé filling in the rotation, taking his final warm-up tosses. And, Jim, he's recovered, really. I mean, Cabrera's got his number. He gave up some really hard-hit balls, and now he's retired after the line drive out off the bat of Martinez. He's retired the last 5 easily.
I think the one thing that he's done, he's backed off a little bit. I think probably the pitching coach, Jim Hickey, who does a terrific job, said, look, you know, you've got a 95, 96-mile fastball, but you got to drop down a little bit, get a little more movement, better command. And I think that's possibly the difference right now. You know, throwing down the ball down the heart of plate doesn't work. Corners are good.
Hunter, Cabrera, Fielder here in the 6th inning. Torrey has not had a good swing. Cabrera and Fielder have. First pitch to Torrey is a fastball and has him jackknifing out of the way, ball 1. Came in inning 3-0-1, a pop out and a ground out for Hunter tonight. Cabrera with 2 home runs. Here's the 1-0. Fastball strike. Torrey was pulling the hands in. 1 ball, 1 strike. 6th inning brought to you by the Jack Demmer Automotive Group. Discover the Demmer difference. Orioles helped the Tigers by beating the Indians yesterday. The Tigers started the day 2.5 up on the Indians in the Central. The Indians had a chance to move to within a game and a half. Torrey Hunter takes a pitch inside, leans back out of the way. The Rays are in 4th in the East. The entire East is above the 500 mark. Or at 500 in the case of Toronto.
Not easy to do.
I was looking at their notes, Jim. They said that only the second time an entire division in baseball has been at 500 or better this late into a season. Here's a ground ball to third base. Nice big hop for Kelly Johnson. Easy strike over to Loney at first. Hunter is out. Only the second time in the last roughly 30 years. And last year was one of those years, which I'd forgotten about. But the East again last year was also at 500 or better to the end of July before I think it was Toronto began to fade.
No, I agree. That's why I said what I did. I mean, that's hard to do. Have you that many teams, no matter who they're playing, and it is a mixed bag nowadays, and this year especially with all the interleague play, who's it helped the most?
It was one of the things they tried to do. Cabrera batting, and he takes a fastball strike. All eyes on Cabrera in every at-bat, but especially now. 2 home runs in this game. The second one farther than the first, and the first one went a long way.
Well said.
Deep in the right-handed batter's box. Johnson deep, a few steps off the line at third. Escobar at short, shades toward the hole. The strike one pitch. Off the plate inside. Just 315 down the left field line, but the wall immediately angles out at about a 45-degree angle. So that immediately you have to carry about a 10-foot wall. And it's about 350 to straightaway left, 370 to the power alleys in both left center and right center. 404 to straightaway center and 322 down the right field line.
Well, let's see if the big man is ready for the inside pitch.
1-1, swinging to tap foul. He got the inside pitch. Thought I saw him give a little nod of the head after he fouled it right at home plate, as if to say, all right, good pitch. But you still don't have me yet. It's 1-2.
He gauges. He's a, all the superlatives that we said, there aren't enough really to describe him. But one thing he does do, he does know how pitchers try to pitch him, and you can't go one way with him. I've said this a million times. If you do, good for Miguel. I hope he's all right because
he hit it off his foot.
He's going to headline our Dancing with the All-Stars #2 August 1st. So keep those legs ready. Headline August 1st at the Joe. Dancing with the All-Stars #2.
Waiting on a 1-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive, base hit into left center. Chasing it down is Joyce. Cabrera will round first and hold as Joyce got it back in. A solid line drive base hit on the 1-2 pitch.
He's amazing. Dan, I got to go to get someplace, write down a lot of these other words that I haven't said yet about him. I mean, he just wears you out with his superlatives that, to see him night after night, you and I are very lucky to call what he does and to try to describe it to our great fans. But he does it all right.
Special.
He does it all right, and that batting practice swing, it's amazing.
Brings up Prince Fielder. Prince has had good swings in this game. He takes a pitch outside.
Looking to hit 9 miles, though.
Long fly ball to left for an out, 1 step from the fence. Line to double into left center in the 4th inning. And you're right, he wants to hit one out. It's been a long stretch for him. Here's the 1-0. That bounced up to home plate. Lobaton blocks it. 2-0 on Fielder. Every Tigers double this season is a wall side windows double. Get double the savings. 2 windows for the price of 1. 21 games without a home run on the heels of a 20-game homerless streak. Those are 2 of the longest streaks in Prince Fielder's career. This is right now the second longest stretch he's ever been without a home run, 21 games.
Boy, then he's overdue. No time like the present.
And it's just amazing when this bat gets heated up, especially when he starts hitting home runs. They come in bunches, and he can knock in a whole lot of runs. Here's the 2-0, swing and a miss. 2-1 on Fielder.
Heck of a pitch.
They
say cutter up on the screen, but I think it was an all-speed pitch, not a cutter.
General RV scoreboard from the 1-800-CALL-SAM studios. How about the game the Indians and White Sox are having? The White Sox finally scored double digits in runs. They've had a hard time scoring more than 6 runs in a game this year. They scored double digits in runs tonight, Jim, and they're losing by 6.
Oh, you're kidding. Wow.
16-10 Cleveland. Fielder swings and misses. Where they're down and in Chicago.
Yeah.
Ryan Rayburn hit his 9th home run. Joe has driven in 4. That's the only home run for Cleveland in a 19-hit attack.
Wow.
Chicago jumped out to a 5-0 lead in the first, and then Cleveland scored the next 14 runs.
Oh, jeez.
16-10 in the 8th inning.
My goodness.
And according to the scoreboard, Jim, that's the first of a doubleheader. Must be a straight doubleheader, obviously.
First.
You know what? They probably had rain. 2-2 pitch, that's high. And that must have been a rain-delayed first game, because you certainly wouldn't have started it.
No. So a rain-delayed doubleheader.
Nothing better. Well, Boston found out earlier this year they had to make it a straight doubleheader. That anybody who had tickets for Game 1, it was supposed to be a split, stay for Game 2. And I've got to believe, Jim, that will probably be the same, unless this was a straight doubleheader. But they started at maybe 5 o'clock. Might have been. It was at 5:10. Getting the word from Chuck Keller, engineer in Southfield. Fielder waiting on the 3-2. That's in the dirt. And he draws a walk.
Well, throwing many more changeups.
Looked like he didn't want to go down to first.
Yeah, can't blame him.
Now he heads down to first. Couple of men on. Cabrera with a single. Fielder with a walk. Victor Martinez at the plate. So you're trying to just get a straight doubleheader in. Jim Hickey again out to the mound. And the first game has already gone 3.5 hours.
Well, baseball, there was a while ago, they said we got to speed up the game. That lasted about 3 weeks in spring training.
Not much you can do about the 16-10 games, but I think the thing that does stand out are the low-scoring games that go 3 to 3:20, and you look up and it's 3-2 or 2-1.
Well, I bet you could say 20 minutes alone just on players in between every pitch, getting out of the box and fixing their gloves tighter, which I don't know how you do that. Some of them walk all the way over the grass. They talk to themselves. They pose. Between every pitch. And first of all, aren't you supposed to ask permission to get out of the box?
Well, you have to.
They
always do.
I particularly have to see anybody say, hey, I want to get out of here.
Well, they get it, or else the pitcher can throw the pitch. We've seen that a few times.
Well, I don't see it.
Martinez at the plate, and he takes a strike. I'm talking about once they're in the box.
Yeah, right.
No, after the pitch they don't have to, obviously. Was interesting talking to Toby Hare about, said after a bad swing, he always likes guys, if they didn't like the last swing they took, step out and take a good practice cut. He said it takes 10 to 12 seconds for a hitter to forget about that bad swing, which I thought was interesting. So just take that little time, get that good swing in your brain, and step back in. There's a pitch low and outside.
I don't mind that. I don't think the fans would. But the ridiculous thing of between every pitch,
right?
Fixing my shirt, pull up my pants, scratch my butt, fix my batting gloves, talk to my bat. The fans, it's tough for the fans.
2 on, 1 out. Tigers trying to add to a 4-2 leader in the 6th. Escobar shades up the middle, keeping an eye on Cabrera. The outfield straight up on Martinez. 2 good swings for Victor in this game. There's a pitch in the dirt blocked by Lobaton out to his right. Other scores in the American League. Yankees lead Baltimore 3-0. That game is in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Yankees offense has just gone silent in recent weeks. They've already been shut out 7 times this year, I saw.
One more than the Tigers.
3-0 over Baltimore through 5. Baltimore in second place. The Yankees in third, both trailing Boston. Boston leading 5-0 at home against Toronto. Webster on the mound. Alan Webster. We saw him in that 4-game series in Detroit. Josh Johnson on the mound for Toronto, getting knocked around a little bit. Here's the 2-1. Swinging a foul out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Victor Martinez. KC, Minnesota, playing this weekend in Minneapolis, just underway and scoreless. Pittsburgh, the first place Pittsburgh Pirates. They've caught St. Louis. St. Louis was 21, 22 games over 500. And now Pittsburgh and St. Louis are tied for first in the Central at 48-30, and Pittsburgh has an 8-3 lead at home over Milwaukee.
Well, if you've got to root for Pittsburgh,
you
you're kind of a
do.
baseball fan. That would be something for that city, that franchise.
Garrett Cole is on the mound, the rookie sensation for Pittsburgh. He's off to a 3-0 start, and he's got the 8-3 lead in the 5th today. Now Victor swings and misses. Chased a fastball up in the strike zone and strikes out. Second strikeout for Colomé. 2 on, 2 outs now for Peralta.
I will say this. We've seen that from Victor a good bit. We've seen it from Prince also, a good bit. Veteran hitters like that, it's, you go through that for a little bit. I think it's lasted a long time. I think we've seen a long time of going after pitches like that.
You notice with Prince, the strikeouts are up from a year ago. And with Victor, he just has not been able to get that batting average bumped much above 220. He's at 228 coming into this game. There's a swing and a foul approaching 300 at-bats. Peralta fouls it to the screen. He's 0 for 2 groundouts off his bat tonight.
Well, I know he has a new bat.
After that ground ball to short?
Yeah, it almost didn't make it to short.
Cabrera's a runner at second. Prince Fielder at first. Tigers trying to add to a 4-2 lead. Tight, low-scoring games. That's what happens when the Rays and Tigers meet, especially here at Tropicana Field. We're in the 6th inning. The strike one pitch. Fastball buzzes him up and in.
And the other change he's made is pitching everybody inside, attacking the hitter. He wasn't attacking the hitter earlier, and that's the change that we talked about. I think that's made a difference.
Colome's pitch count into the low 80s now at 81. Here's the 1-1 in the dirt. He's definitely made adjustments after Cabrera's home run. The Fielder doubled the Martinez line drive in the 4th inning. Those are about the first 4 pitches of that inning.
Right.
3 of the first 4 were smoked. And really just the Cabrera line drive is the only hard hit ball since.
Again, he was just trying to get the ball over the plate, and that's called trying not to walk anybody. Now he's gone to the other route, which you should, attacking the hitters. 2
walks, 2 strikeouts for Colome. 2 on, 2 outs. 4-2 Tigers in the 6th inning. Peralta waiting. The 2-1 pitch. Going outside. Jamie Wright throwing in the Rays bullpen.
Boy,
the ageless one.
The veteran ageless one. My goodness.
The man who every spring does not have a roster spot.
But he finds one.
And then he ends up on the roster.
That's right.
Second baseman Zobrist shades up the middle, keeping an eye on Cabrera, trying to shorten his lead just a little bit. The outfield plays Peralta to pull. Right-handed batter against the righty. Colome ready. 3-1 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball. Center field. Fairly deep. Going back Jennings. Tracking it. He'll turn and make the catch on the warning track. In straightaway center. Peralta, good swing, but it's out. Number 3. Tigers straying 2. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning in St. Petersburg. Tigers 4, Rays 2. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. Every strikeout by Tigers pitcher, $100 is deposited into the University of Toledo's Strikeouts for Scholarships account. Turn your job into reality at the University of Toledo. Today's game is brought to you in part by McDonald's. Let's brews the official coffee of the Detroit Tigers radio network. 9-1-2 hitters. Escobar, Joyce, and Jennings against Max Scherzer, who's allowed 2 hits through 5, both home runs. Working with a 4-2 lead in the 6th inning. A lot of success against these Rays in his career. He delivers a breaking ball strike to Escobar. Last 4 starts, he's given up either 1 or 2 runs. Twice he's given up 1, twice he's given up 2.
So that's it then, right?
So he's reached his limit.
That's it.
No walks and 7 strikeouts, all swinging third strikes. A bunt attempt by Escobar with Cabrera deep. We'll watch Cabrera's reaction as he comes in.
Oh, yeah.
He always reacts either to the hitter or, well, this time it was over to the Tigers dugout a little bit. Like, take that ball that just bounced over there and get it out of play.
That's exactly right. I mean, like, you dare do that against me?
Always wants to let hitters know that he's watching. Here's the 0-2. Slider low and away.
You don't want the bad peeps in the big time. That's not good.
Well, Cleveland just keeps adding on runs. How about 19-10?
Wow. Are you kidding
19-10. They brought Trevor Bauer back up to make the start. He gave up 5 in the first inning and was out of that game. So it's been a bullpen day. There's a pitch low and outside, and they just keep piling on the runs.
It's got to be a position player pitching right about now for the White Sox.
3 more runs in the 8th inning. Well, so far they've had 4 different pitchers get beat up.
Wow.
Here's the 2-2. Swinging a foul out of play. Still 2-2 on Yunel Escobar. Alcides is with Kansas City. He's pretty good.
Oh, he's good. Real good.
4 runs, 4 hits for the Tigers. 3 runs on Cabrera home runs. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Rays. The 2-2 pitch. Line drive on 1 hop to third. Cabrera scoops it off his left shoe top. Turns and throws a strike to Fielder. 1 up, 1 down, 6th inning. And now we go the third time through the order. Jim, this is always interesting to me because batting averages and production goes up each time through. And with Max, I mean, that's the league-wide trend. Each time a batter sees a pitcher, they get better. With Max, it's the exact opposite, and that's probably the biggest improvement for him this year. As he goes the third time through an order, opponents hit 154 and slugged 250 against Max Scherzer. But there's a lot that goes into it, isn't there? When you get better the third time through an order because they've seen you. If they've had a couple of long at-bats, they've seen probably everything that you have.
Yeah. Well, one thing that nobody has that fastball and the command of the fastball. That's number one. Number two, you might break out a curveball. Maybe one time so far.
Oh. There is a curveball.
So, and I think Verlander does it, Scherzer does it, Sanchez, they all do that. They're a different pitcher after so many times through the lineup. And Doug and I were talking about that today.
I mean, you really have to save something for that third time that the hitter has not seen. There's a fastball high.
And I always thought that was interesting that is to have those starting pitchers that I just named, all of them can do that. Be it 3 innings, one type of pitcher, next 3 innings, another type of pitcher. That is tough.
Here's the 3-0 to Joyce. He splits the plate with the fastball. Actually grabs the outside corner. 3-1. Just the second 3-ball count for Max Scherzer tonight.
But number one is that fastball. I mean, it sets up everything.
The 3-1. Change-up outside. That was interesting. Yes, we got talking about that. Matt Joyce draws a walk. 1 walk, 2 walks. That's about it for Max. He loathes walks. And you can see right now he's not happy with himself as he takes a walk to the turf, to the side of the mound. A little circle back from behind the mound up to the rubber. Always has the confidence in his ability to throw a strike no matter what the count is and make a quality pitch. When he doesn't like it. Jennings takes a pitch high and outside. Heading into the heart of the order. No Evan Longoria, though.
Boy, that does make a difference.
Oh,
my goodness.
That's
the power hitter in this ball club.
Changes the look of this lineup.
Will Myers might be there if he keeps going the way he is. He's off to a good start.
Jennings slightly closed upright stance, knees slightly bent. Bends at the waist toward the plate from the right side. He's backed away by an off-speed pitch. 2 batters in a row. Max Scherzer has started 2-0. He has not done that all night. He's been a strike-throwing machine, and Brian Pena is going to go out to have a quick word with Max, and Cabrera is going to come in from third base.
The great, I call it the great one. He's done a great job. He's one of the best at seeing things that maybe
sure is
a pitcher has done. They're all different. The mechanics are all different. The rhythm is all different. The release point's all different. So for all the ins and outs that he has to know for every pitcher, because they're all different, it is phenomenal what he can pick out during a game, especially that might be flaring up the lead shoulder. He might be leaning back too much before he drives the plate. Just little things, and he can pick them out with the best.
Interesting talking to Jeff today about Max. He said he's always been analytical, and that was sometimes a criticism that he thought too much. But he said what he thinks he's done a very good job at this year is he likes to look at a lot of things. He's honed in on those things that are the most important things for him in terms of getting out batters.
Yeah, well, you got to simplify things. What I tell you about thinking.
Got to do it before the game.
There you go. No thinking during the game.
Here's the 2-0. There's a strike on the outside corner.
That crossfire action right there, he owns that. I say that all the time, but he owns that pitch. What are you going to do with that?
Seriously, much.
Nobody is. You can't do it. Low and away crossfire, forget it. 94, 95,
96. Critical moment in this game. Rays heading into the heart of their order. 2-1 pitch, and Jennings pops it up foul, first base side, and coming over Fielder, he'll make the basket catch right by the railing. By the Rays dugout. This is the number 1 ballpark in the American League for foul outs.
Over Oakland?
He has led Oakland, Jim, the last 3 years. I discovered that today, and it surprised the heck out of me because nobody has foul territory quite like Oakland.
Well, that's surprising.
It's got to be, Jim, that the fact that the foul territory doesn't shrink a whole lot going down each line. But that was a surprise. Last 3 years, more foul ball outs in this ballpark than in Oakland. Comerica Park is third. That's surprising. Maxwell turns a lob over to first to drive Joyce back. Joyce does have 6 steals and 7 attempts this year. What was Prince doing there after he caught the ball? He looked like he had a word with Joyce and the umpire. He was talking to the umpire. Yeah. A little lob.
Thought he tagged him when he was off the bag. Pretty close.
There's a breaking ball strike.
Is that a curveball, Dan?
It was.
How about that?
It absolutely was.
It is so neat.
How about that, Jim? He did get him.
Yep, it looked like he did. That happens a lot.
Joyce had his left hand on the bag, and as he took it off before he put his left foot on the bag, Prince tagged him. That was a pretty good play. And the strike one pitch off the plate outside. Jim, but going back to the third time through the order, which to me is always so interesting, the cat and mouse game that's constantly going on. You're very aware of each hitter and what you've done already. That's right. The first 2 times, even though that's remembering 18 trips to the plate.
Well,
you remember each hitter, absolutely, and what you've done to them. That's exactly right.
Easy. I mean, that just comes natural.
Yeah.
Naturally, and a lot of people, even including myself, I couldn't sit down and write a thesis on the atmosphere or something like that,
but that's 70, 80 pitches that you've kept track of with 9 different batters, 2 trips to the plate.
No problem. Yeah, it is. I mean, it is something.
Pena setting up low and away, waiting on the 1-1 in a 4-2 game. There's a swing and a miss. Zobrist hit a home run his last time. Couldn't find the changeup there, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I mean, there are times, in my opinion, I've seen guys, I've caught guys that threw fastballs for like 3-4 innings. Low, inside, outside, high, both sides of the plate, up and down. And then maybe third time through the order, they break out other pitches, and guys are falling down and hacking, and, what happened all of a sudden?
Joyce goes. A 1-2 pitch is a called third strike. Beauty. Frozen with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
The art of pitching.
8 strikeout for Max Scherzer. A walk does no harm. We played 6 at Tropicana, Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Tigers top of the 7th inning. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. New pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays, Jamie Wright. The veteran righty facing Don Kelly. Weak ground ball softly to short. Scooped up by Escobar. Off his back foot. Guns it over to first. 1 pitch, 1 out, 7th inning. 4-2 Tigers.
Change brought to you by your neighborhood Michigan Ford dealers. Well, this is the veteran Dan and I talked about earlier. He's done a nice job. ERA of 3.11. 36th appearance. 37 2/3. Only 26 hits. How about that? 35 strikeouts, 14 walks, couple of home runs. But these numbers are very good for Jamie Wright. He has been a real workhorse, and those 37 2/3 innings, that's the most out of the bullpen for the Rays, and a valuable young man or veteran coming out of the pen. I mean, wow. You gotta tip your hat to him.
You really do.
Like you said, goes to spring training with not on anybody's roster, but always ends up on one.
Going by memory, I believe it's 6 straight springs he's gone to camp with different teams as a non-roster invite. And there he is at the end of spring training on the roster.
And doing a heck of a job.
Omar Infante takes a slider high. 1 ball, 1 strike, 4-2 Tigers in the 7th inning.
And I have to say, the young man, Solomon, made some nice adjustments. We talked about were the adjustments, and I'm sure Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, pointed those things out to him, but it was noticeable.
First 14 batters, we said, and it was true, I think. As good a swings as you'll see through 14 batters. Ground ball deep, short, and under the glove of Escobar. Tried to backhand it deep in the hole. He wouldn't have been able to throw him out anyway. Solid single for Infante. But truly, some great swings through 14 batters. Last 10 batters, there was maybe 1 good swing. The Cabrera single. He also walked a batter. but he retired all the others he faced and not many hard hit balls. Very strong finish.
Yeah, and to go over what we talked about, first, 14 batters he's throwing the ball. After that, and Hickey went out there several times, the pitching coach started throwing inside to the right-hand hitters especially, and he wasn't airing it out. He had backed off a little bit. You saw better command, a little bit better movement. There you go. You know, that you got to go through the school of hard knocks when you have a great arm. Apparently, that's their resume.
Done a heck of a job with the rookies they continue to bring up from the minor leagues. There's a strike to Brian Pena. Infante's single, just the 5th hit of the day for the Tigers. It is rare to see a team score even as many as 5 runs when these two teams get together here at Tropicana Field. You just settle in for tight, low-scoring games and hope you can hold the Rays' offense down, really, and score enough runs to scratch out a win. But that's what the Tigers have done the last 2 years here. There's a pitch inside to make it 1 ball, 1 strike. They've taken 6 of the last 8 meetings here, even though they've not done much run scoring.
No, and like I said, they had to check with each other. Did we really win the game? I mean, that's when you know it's a tussle. Good old-fashioned tussle.
Infante at first, cautious lead. Loney holding with him. Loney's a lefty. He comes off the bag. He's going to draw a throw, so Loney had to back up just as he was coming off. Keep thinking about that Prince Fielder play. It was just a lob by Scherzer over to first. Joyce went back, and as he got up, Prince definitely tagged him out.
Yeah, you really do see that a lot where hit up, when their hands on the base, then they get their foot over, and then there is a period of time where there's nothing on the base. But it's kind of almost like a golden rule.
I've never seen anybody called out on that.
Yeah, it's kind of a golden rule that just let it go. Like the phantom double play.
Which they actually have gotten better at calling.
They have gotten
because
better.
It was getting a little ridiculous.
Yes, it was. I mean, because guys halfway to third on the pivot and they throw.
Here's a 1-1. Low and outside. I mean, at some point it was a few inches off the bag, and then it grew to, it looked like feet off the bag.
Then yards.
And as long as you had been in the neighborhood at some point during the play, you got credit for the out.
Exactly. It did get crazy.
4-2 Tigers are in the 7th inning. Brian Pena hit by a pitch. Tricker called third, one of 2 strikeouts for Colome. Waiting on the 2-1 pitch. There goes Infante, swinging a tap foul. Looked like he might have gotten a decent jump.
He did.
This is a pitcher you can run on. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Pena. Bruce Rondon is back with the Tigers. Evan Reed back to Toledo, and
well, bad for Evan Reed, but he's got a lot to work with.
Keep an eye on that guy. Definitely, that's a good arm. He made improvements while he was here, but he was the odd man out, and Tigers certainly hope this is the call that brings Rondon to the Tigers for good.
Yeah, you better believe it. A lot of folks are front office thinking that way.
Infante goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second, not nearly in time. He got a good jump both times off of Jamie Wright.
Well, I'm looking at Lobaton, the catcher, Dan. I swear, I don't know if he couldn't get the ball out of his glove, but it was as slow a release as I can remember.
Escobar caught the ball, lifted Infante's back foot off the bag, and tagged him just to reenact the fielder play at first. Having a little fun with Omar. Omar's 4th steal of the year. He's in scoring position for Austin Jackson. Tigers up 2, trying to widen their lead here in the 7th inning in the first of 3 with the Rays. Austin looking for his first hit. Had his 10-game hit streak snapped yesterday. He was on twice in the game, though. Hit by a pitch and a walk. Walked his first time up, scored a run. Rode home on the Cabrera home run, the first of 2 for Miguel today. 2 bounce outs, his other 2 at-bats against Colome. Colome against Tigers righties. Not named Cabrera. Was tough. There's a strike to make it 1-1.
Yes, he was. Boy, a nice turnaround if you're a Rays fan. We have to talk about it, but that's the hard knocks of becoming a pitcher and not a thrower in the major leagues. And of course, facing Miguel Cabrera, that's another hard knock for you.
The 1-1, swinging a foul out of play. First at bat, Miguel saw 1 pitch, and the next pitch was a home run deep to left. Next time up, he led off the 4th inning. And on the first pitch, hit one deeper to left center field. I didn't hear the measurement, but that had to be 420 plus.
Easy. BCC.
So we saw 3 pitches, hit 2 home runs, facing a pitcher he'd never seen before.
And I swear both pitches were the same.
Inviting.
Here's
the 1-2.
With inviting fastballs.
That's in the dirt. Blocked by Lobaton, moving to his right. 2-2, the count on Austin Jackson. Lobaton's had a busy night. A lot of pitches in the dirt.
You know, it goes like that. There's streaks. Of course, with certain pitchers, you know what's going to happen. But there are streaks as far as foul balls and so forth. And then you might go a couple games with nothing. And all of a sudden, you're battered.
Molina and Lobaton splitting the catching duties for the Rays this year. Ponte's at second with 2 outs. Jamie Wright, the 36-year-old righty, sets the 2-2. Way inside, Jackson jumps back out of the way. 38 years old now for Jamie Wright.
I'll tell you, those numbers that I read, I'm impressed with what he's done.
18 years in the major leagues. Starter, converted to relief, bounces around team to team, year to year, and really for the last several years running has done a very nice job.
Yes.
Then with Cleveland, Seattle, the Dodgers, now Tampa. 3-2, swing and a miss. Breaking ball away, and Austin Jackson strikes out.
Well, we haven't seen that swing for a while, have we?
Sure haven't. 2 strikeouts for Wright in the inning. He strands a runner in scoring position. We're heading to the 7th inning stretch in St. Petersburg. Tigers 4, Rays 2. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. You can text your player of the game now to 97136. Messaging rates do apply. Brought to you by U.S. Park. $8 a day, every day. Check swing. And did he go? Yes, he did. Kelly Johnson leading off, and it's strike 1 on Johnson. He was perhaps the hottest hitter for the Rays going into that series in Detroit. And he right now is the coolest of all the Rays at the plate.
When you swing at a ball that's 5 feet in front of, almost on the grass, and you swing at it, you're struggling.
Strike 1 pitch, a fastball for strike 2. 7 for his last 67.
That's hard to do.
Covering 19 games for Kelly Johnson.
I think a few more bloops would drop in.
Something. The 0-2. That bounced in front of home plate. Couldn't get him to chase this time. Again, Evan Longoria out of the game with plantar fasciitis in his right foot. Probably something that's been bothering him, you would think, for a while, or has been an issue recently.
I had not a bad case of it. Mine was cured up really quickly, but there must be really terrible.
There's a swing and a foul.
I mean, you know, when you get it to a larger degree than I had, it must really be something.
I had it one time, and it was just in the morning, and then it would go away, do a couple exercises, and get rid of it. But you see cases where it lingers all the time, day to day.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-2, swinging a ground ball foul, and
like you said, ask Pujols.
Lingered for him for a long time.
And if they're not treating him with 3 or 4 different doctors, I mean, my pal was a doctor. He fixed up something on my foot, and it's gone a little bit.
Here's the windup in the 1-2. Fastball pops the glove, but it's high and outside. We're in the 7th inning. This is what we see from Max Scherzer. His pitch count right now is at 93.
He's something.
The windup, the 2-2, is swing and a foul to the screen. Change up, and Johnson, to his credit, stayed on it long enough to foul it to the screen.
Now, if you're Johnson,
he was gone though.
He was gone. That ball if he'd have hit it, wouldn't have gone back to Max. But a heck of a bunt.
Outfield plays him straight up. Kelly in left tonight, Jackson in center, Hunter in right. Peralta shades up the middle at short. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, another changeup. He just waved at it. Strikes out for the second time tonight.
Dan's been talking about the White Sox getting beat up tonight. They'll be in Motown July 10th. First 10,000 fans, 21 and older now. 21 and older for you guys that try to cheat for 14 and under. Now it's your turn. You receive a free Tiger Stars and Stripes cooler bag brought to you by Miller Lite. 866-66-TIGER. Visit Tigers.com. So, okay, now you guys have cheated all the time or tried to cheat. It's your time, okay? Right down?
Right.
Thank you, Dave.
Chris Perez is on to close that game out, and he just did.
Did he?
Cleveland wins it 19-10.
You used your closer to close that game
Isn't that interesting? Just off the DL, so I guess they wanted to ease him back into
Of course, he didn't get a save.
Easing back into it.
With
How about that? The White Sox have had trouble scoring runs all year. They score 10 and lose by 9.
That really is something, yeah.
Loney takes a strike. It's been that kind of year for the now 32-44 Chicago White Sox. That's their season low. They've matched their season low in terms of gains below the 500 mark. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and swinging and a foul out of play. James Loney has been overmatched by Max in his first 2 at-bats.
You're right.
That was a fastball. Last time he set him up.
Yep. We were talking about
a fastball by him.
Yeah, talking about Pujols yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or said, don't throw him an all-speed pitch because his bat speed looks slow. And this one, would go off the center field wall or right in front
to
of
it.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-2. Fastball, 96. You can see he's gearing it up as the game goes on. Oftentimes he'll do this when he knows it's his last inning, but at 97 pitches, I wouldn't think that this is necessarily his last inning.
And there's nobody down there tossing the old ball.
The 2-2, way outside. Change up away. If he can get these next 2 batters with a low pitch count, say he's at 105, you would certainly think there's a chance he'll be coming back out for the 8th inning. He's already gone 8 innings 5 times this year, more than he did last year.
Always under control. I mean, that's what you see with Max.
Now the windup, the 3-2, swing and a soft ground ball to the right of the mound. Max will field and just keep right on running. Make the play unassisted at first.
Wow. Let's see. Loney struck out twice and just hit a ground ball that if it was outside, it would have killed a few worms.
Just kind of flailed at an off-speed pitch and hit a weak ground ball. 7th inning is brought to you by Wallside Windows. They can do that. They are the factory. 4-2 Tigers are in the 7th inning at Tropicana Field. Well, Will Myers steps to the plate.
This will be interesting.
One of the premier prospects in all of baseball. Yeah. Crushed a home run his last time. First pitch here, line drive, base hit into right.
Wow.
Looked like he was looking for the fastball, and he just wanted to throw it at first. Held on to it. Will Myers, impressive piece of hitting.
Well, I'll tell you this. He hit a hanging slider. And that's impressive because a hanging slider, and you think, well, I hit his slider. You would think he's going to go after the fastball. My goodness. That's strong. That is strong. Man. Outside corner. Solid line drive. Wow.
Brings up Scott. Luke Scott is 0 for 2.
Well, he's from a nice area. High Point, North Carolina. Beautiful there. Ever been there?
Talking about Will Myers.
Yeah, Will Myers.
There's a pitch outside. Never been to North Carolina.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, you kidding me? Beautiful. I played the ball there. Beautiful state. Oh.
Well, this is a potential tying run at the plate. Luke Scott has 4 home runs this year. Spent some time on the DL. He's not producing the power, though. We talked about it. That they need from this spot, the DH. There's a swing and a miss. Change-up 1-1.
Yeah, fastballs. He's been tardy with fastballs even. Never before, when he was with Baltimore, you dare not throw him a fastball that he could reach. Changed a little bit now.
Rondon and Smiley are now throwing in the Tigers' bullpen. Max has needed 105 pitches to average 7 innings to start this year. He's at 102 right now. Pena is setting up outer half of the plate. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball by him at 95.
In Baltimore, I don't think you could do that when he was there. It's a different bat speed now.
Swing and miss. Fastball outer half of the plate. Never get tired of watching it with Max Scherzer.
He owns it.
2 outs, man on first. Tigers holding on to a 2-run lead in the 7th inning. Peralta shades up the middle. The outfield straight up. Tigers haven't shifted a whole lot on Rays batters in this game. Max ready. Holds it the extra beat. The 1-2. Swinging a line drive down the right field line. Hooking in the corner. Fair ball. Karam's off the wall to Hunter. He bobbles it. They're waving Myers around third, and he will score without a throw. Line drive double off the right field corner wall from Luke Scott, and it's now a 4-3 game here in the 7th.
Well, that was a changeup, and You know, they were throwing the fastball right by him, and, you know, we've talked about you don't throw the bat speed. We talked about his bat speed has slowed up, and there we go again. A bullet just stayed fair, and I really think Torrey Hunter threw to the wrong cutoff man, because there would have been a play at the plate, in my humble opinion, even though he bobbled the ball. If he hits Omar, I think there's a play at the plate.
I thought there would be, Jim.
But he got the ball when he finally got it, and went through it right to second base. So I'm a little surprised at that.
And Myers was running. He runs well, but that was my initial thought, as soon as, even with the bobble, that there would still be a play at the plate. Visit to the mound, Jeff Jones out. The starter with 2 outs. Myers punching the first pitch he saw into right field, a sharp single. And then Luke Scott looked like a hanging slider that was very inviting. Just
sure was.
Ripped it down the right field line.
Shows you maybe a little, not much gas left in the old tank by Max.
4-3 game now. First pitch here is a fastball strike. Well, that said 87 on the gun. I guess a changeup on the inner half of the plate to Lobaton.
No, I think
didn't look like.
No, I think that's wrong. That was a heater.
He doesn't throw his changeup like that to that spot against lefties.
No, that was a heater.
The strike 1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Whoa, fastball by him. No balls, 2 strikes. Max wants to end on a high note and strand that potential tying run at second base. This is probably the end of his night.
Yeah, I would think so. But, this ball club felt good. But here we are again. How about the Tigers? Feeling good, leading, but wow.
Lobaton, switch hitter, batting lefty, waiting on the 0-2. Fastball outside. That's where Pena was set up. 97 on that fastball from Max Scherzer. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Tigers. 3 runs, 4 hits for the Rays. Another game in which there aren't many base runners, and yet of the 5 base runners, 3 have scored against Max Scherzer. Works third base side of the rubber. Sets, holds the glove high, right by the right shoulder when he sets. The 1-2. Fastball just outside. Jim, is Pena setting up a little too far off the plate?
Well, I was going to say that's off by a foot.
I mean, that's where he's setting up.
Yeah.
He's popping the glove, but he's...
And you got to set up where you know the movement will take the ball. So, that's why a lot of times if a pitcher has great movement like that, you put your gloves down the center of the plate, and with the movement takes on the outer half of the plate. That's where you have to gauge how far you go away for certain pitches.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Lobaton, who's 0 for 2. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging the ground ball to first. Scooped up by Prince Fielder, who stepped to his right. He'll make the play unassisted. And Max Scherzer gives the Tigers 7 strong innings here tonight.
Yeah, he stepped up on that pitch.
2-out double. Produces a run, though, for the Rays. We played 7 in St. Petersburg. 4-3. Tigers lead has been cut to 1 on the Detroit Tigers radio network. Copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Detroit Tigers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers. New pitcher for the Rays, 8th inning, 4-3. Tigers 4-0 lead has been cut to a single run. Kyle Farnsworth is on the mound for the Rays.
Pitching change brought to you by Neighborhood Michigan Ford dealers. As good as the numbers were for Wright, for Farnsworth, who at one time had the better power arms in the game, these are not good. 21 2/3, 27 hits, only 11 strikeouts, Dan, and 5 walks, 4 home runs, 12 earned runs. So apparently either hanging his pitches or doesn't have that overpowering stuff that he used to have.
Strikeout an inning guy his entire career, right through really the last couple of years. He was just a tick below that. And that's what really stands out, Jim. 4.5 strikeouts per 9 is his rate this year. He's never been below 8, really. There's a strike on the outside corner to Torrey Hunter.
Boy, he had a nasty heater and slider in his heyday. My goodness.
Look at Jamie Wright averaging 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. He doesn't have nearly the stuff that Farnsworth does.
He's 72 years old. Jeez.
Farnsworth now 37. There's a pitch low and outside. Still looks like he's in incredible shape. He's built like a linebacker, always has been. 6'4", 230 pounds. Works over on the first base side of the rubber. From the full windup, it's just a quick step back of the left foot, then into his motion. The 1-1. Ground ball to third base. Right to Kelly Johnson on a nice big hop. Easy toss to Loney at first. Torrey Hunter is 0 for 4 tonight. 3 ground ball outs and a pop-up.
All right, gang, July 14th, the Rangers, Texas Rangers will be in Motown. All kids 14 under get a Justin Verlander bobblehead. Brought to you by the DMC, 866-66-TIGER. Visit tigers.com. See, we have Miguel Cabrera, little bitty bobbleheads. I can't wait to get one of Justin's. I'll pat him on the head when he does good.
That brings up Miguel Cabrera, 3 for 3 night for Miguel. 2 home runs.
Oh, ouch.
Deep to left field. Give him 24 on the season. There's a swing and a long slicing foul.
Oh, no.
Down the right field line. Almost had home run distance. Remember, it's only 322 down the line. The wall angles out quickly, but 322 at the foul pole. Strike 1 on Miguel.
6 for 12 against Farnsworth. Pretty good lifetime. Of course, that book of his. Did you ever try to lift it? We did it the other day. It took 3 of us to lift it. It was amazing.
Had a good home stand. And the home run total is pretty impressive. There's a swing and a tap foul when you think of how hot he's been down the stretch the last 2 years and how good he's been in the second half. He's hitting over 370 with 24 home runs. We're still 3 games shy of the midway point in 2013.
He's talking to himself. He's mad he missed that pitch. I asked him about that, and he said, yeah, I talked to myself in Spanish. I answer in English. I said, what? I said, yeah, he said, I practiced my English that way.
No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Fastball. Well, he still got the fastball.
Yeah, there it was.
96 mile an hour fastball. We did not see that in Tampa a few weeks, or in Detroit a few weeks ago.
No, we didn't.
The Rays were in town.
Yep.
Seemed like it was much more of a low 90s fastball.
And this low 90s fastball, he better have better command. Get away with that.
Outfield. Normal depth straight up on Cabrera. 4-3 Tigers in the 8th. The pitch. Swinging a fly ball center field deep. Jennings is on the run. This one is way back, and it's off the base of the wall in the deepest part of center. Cabrera around first, and he'll cruise into second with his 4th hit of the night. A line drive that one-hopped the center field wall.
Well, folks, here I go again. Just incredible, unbelievable. And Jennings, I think Jennings said, I have no play in this ball. He was just planning to play it off the wall. He saw right away. When the big man hits the ball, it just keeps going. Somebody else hits that ball, Jennings catches it. He is just phenomenal with his bat speed, when he can extend, and the balance and the timing, you name it, he's got it all.
Joe Madden is making his way to the mound with a man on second. He wants a lefty to face Prince Fielder. Takes the ball from Farnsworth. Cabrera's at second with 1 out in the 8th inning. Tigers trying to add to a 4-3 lead. While the Rays make the change, we'll pause for these words. Cesar Ramos, a lefty, is the new pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. Man on second, 1 out. We're in the 8th inning, and the Tigers trying to add to a 4-3 lead.
Well, this is interesting. He has not been too sharp against left-handers, 326. Right-handers, 235, and the numbers aren't all that good either. When you look at him, 34 and a third, 35 hits, 27 strikeouts, 11 walks, 16 earned runs. That's a lot of earned runs at 34 and a third. And the trouble with left-handers.
Prince Fielder has been terrific against lefties this year. It's his big improvement. Wait till he heats up against righties. There's a pitch up and in. He's hitting 337 against lefties. You look at how often teams bring in a lefty just to face Fielder after Cabrera bats.
Right.
He already has 24 more at-bats against lefties than Miguel Cabrera. The 1-0 pitch. High fly ball down the right field line. Way back and hit the catwalk. Oh, it's a bomb off the bat of Prince Fielder. It's a 2-run shot, and the Tigers take a 6-3 lead in the 8th. You can't hit it any farther.
Well, that's where hanging breaking balls go. And when you're as strong as Prince Fielder, that's where they go again. And you just don't see that to hit the catwalk that far out and that high. Well, he's back. It's been a while, as you said, Dan, and he is back. But a hanging breaking ball. Adios. Wow, Fego home run to make the party pop for over 100 years.
I think we might have seen a home run, Jim, hit the lower of the two catwalks.
By Miguel.
That was the upper of the two lowest catwalks. There are 4 catwalks. If you hit either with the lower two, it's a home run. That's about 100 feet, wouldn't you say, Jim? Roughly 100 feet above the playing surface? No question.
Absolutely.
And it looks like that catwalk ring is maybe just in front of the left field wall. This little pop fly to shallow center off the bat of Martinez. Jennings comes in, puts it in his back pocket. So he hits the catwalk maybe 100 feet above the field, just in front of the wall in right field. That is a long, long way.
Now let's go over this again now. Ramos, left-hander, is batting .326 against him.
Fielder improved against lefties.
Yeah, especially in hanging pitches. I heard his eyeball.
It's got to be one of those things where Joe Madden says if he can't get lefties out, well, let's find out. I mean, if at some point he won't, then he can't stick around.
I heard his eyeballs click. That's how good that pitch looked.
Johnny Peralta batting, and he takes his strike. Oh, that was a good sight to see, and I got to believe the relief for Prince Fielder after a 21-game homerless streak, the second longest streak of his career.
Boy, the boys needed some runs. It was getting too close.
Now Peralta takes a breaking ball in. 6-3 Tigers in the 8th. Home run power in this ballpark. Tigers just haven't done that in recent years. Here's the 1-1, swing and a miss, changeup, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Peralta's 0 for 3 tonight. It's been the heart of the order that has put on the show. Cabrera, infielder, 8 trips to the plate, 6 hits, 3 home runs, 2 doubles, a single and a walk. And the only out among those 2, Fielder hit a fly ball almost to the wall in deep left center. Peralta backed away, 2-2.
One swing of the bat makes you a good manager.
6-3 Tigers. Murmur going through the crowd. It has certainly been quieted by the home run blast from Prince Fielder. There's a pitch inside. It's now 3-2 on Peralta. The 3-2 pitch, swinging a line drive, hooking down the left field line, foul. Past the Tigers bullpen. The last 12 games here, the Tigers had hit .239 and hit just 9 home runs in the last 12 games. The most runs they had scored in any game was 6. And again, had to average 3. And the home run power has come through in a big way in this game.
Well, you know, the pitching right now it's not the same pitching that they saw before.
3-2, swinging a line drive, left field, going back as Joyce will reach up and grab it as he goes onto the track. Oh, he had to leap and extend with the backhand, and he robbed Peralta of extra bases.
Well, that'll teach him to glide back on the ball instead of going back full tilt.
3rd out of the 8th inning, the Tigers scored 2 big runs on the Fielder home run. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-3 Tigers at Tropicana Field. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. This game brought to you in part by Comerica Bank. Find out whether they're the leading bank for business. Learn more at Comerica.com/business. 6-3 Tigers, bottom of the 8th inning. Al Albuquerque takes over on the mound.
Pitch change brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Visit Royal Oak Ford. Think Ford first. One inning for Al yesterday. 1 walk and a strikeout, but no base hits.
Here's a ground ball on a high chop over Cabrera's head and just foul by inches down the third base line. It's just strike 1.
Well, total 18 in the third, 14 hits. They just don't hit him. 5 runs, 30 strikeouts, 17 walks, and just to mention this, also 7 wild pitches and a balk for Al.
All of that crammed into a very short period of time.
He did it. He's done it all. And, when you catch him, you're going to be moving around pretty quick. I thought his fastball yesterday was outstanding.
Strike 1, short slider for a strike. Escobar at the plate. He's behind. No balls and 2 strikes.
That's a Max Scherzer slider at 88.
You don't want to say this guy holds the key, Jim, to this bullpen, but he really could be huge. Jim Leland right now wants Al Albuquerque. The 0-2 is swinging a tap foul on a pitch that almost bounced. to nail down the 8th inning most nights. And he certainly has the stuff to do it. He's one of the toughest pitchers to hit in the major leagues over the last 3 years. But we saw all the inconsistencies earlier this year.
And again, I think, and I was talking with a couple of coaches today about it, if he threw more fastballs, really think he would be better with the breaking ball, better command.
Here's the 0-2, slider low and outside.
I mean, when you can throw 95, 96, over the plate, that's tough for anybody to hit. And he has that. That'll make the slider, which is already good, that much better.
And we looked, I mean, it was something like a 60-40 split the other way with the slider to the fastball.
And that's tough on the arm.
1-2 fastball is high at 96, has Escobar diving out of that right-handed batter's box.
And you're right, this would give everybody a little bit more ease with what's going on with the Tiger bullpen. Just be consistent.
Yep.
And I think they're nice that he can get away with 7% fastballs and the rest breaking balls. Is that good?
2-2, slider low and outside. Which leads to the walks, Jim? And we know the walk rate is high. Is it fastball command, or is it the slider you think that causes all the walks?
I think it's a combination. I really do. I mean, we see some nights the fastball's always over the plate. Some nights the breaking ball may not be over the plate, but they're swinging at it. It all depends if they swing at it.
3-2, swinging a foul out of play. In his time in the major leagues, opponents have hit 157 against him. He has not given up a home run, and he's given up 5 extra base hits. Out of the 41 hits he's allowed, 36 have been singles. So the power numbers are down, the batting average is down. The one thing that sticks out are the walks. The 3-2. That one's high. And he draws a walk. Yunel Escobar has not walked much this year. A leadoff walk in the 8th.
All right, gang, I know you've been waiting for this. Super Buick GMC, they're Downriver's only place to buy a GMC truck. And also, Zuber's everything you want your car to be, even if you want it to be a truck. Super Buick GMC on Telegraph Road in Salyer. Say it with me now. Nice area. Great supporters of Jack's Place.
17,645. 17,645.
That is so sad.
Here at Tropicana Field.
A lot of Tiger fans, too.
Attendance brought to each and every game by your Barrick BP Advantage stores. There's a breaking ball that misses a little bit high to leadoff man Matt Joyce. You can visit one of their stores, win a chance to go behind the scenes here at Comerica Park. The walk rate for Al Albuquerque in the major leagues, 6.5. The strikeout rate, almost 14 per 9 innings. The 1-0 pitch, check swing strike. And he's above 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's his rate this year in 18 innings of work.
Unique. That's the best way to describe the amazing Al. He is unique with his arsenal.
And usually you can live with the walks because of the strikeouts, but the concern is there's a pitch high and outside. If he's throwing 20 to 24 pitches just to get you through an inning, you can't use him on multiple days, and they want to be able to use him on multiple days, if not back-to-back, 2 out of every 3 days, or 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, a solid team will work him. Solid hitting team.
Here's the 2-1, swing and a miss, slider down and in, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rays, as Jim mentioned, don't strike out much. They are the 4th toughest team to strike out. Tigers still 2nd toughest team to strike out. Pretty good combination for the Tigers. The high batting average up there in runs scored, top 3 all year, and tough to strike out. Rays also draw a lot of walks. Here's the 2-2, swing and a miss. Joyce just waved at the off-speed pitch away.
Well, that's what the amazing Al can do. I mean, now he'll go back to the bench and say, what did I do wrong there? Go look at video. He'll go look at video and say, the ball looked like it disappeared. It went straight down, and I think it was a lot slower than what they had up on the board.
Jim, there are times it looks like a changeup, but he really doesn't throw one, does he?
He does not.
It doesn't do much sometimes.
He doesn't. No, I don't think he knows that he's doing that, in all honesty.
There's a fastball at 95 up and in on Desmond Jennings. 6-3 Tigers win the 8th.
I just think sometimes the way he wraps his hands around the ball, and it comes out different ways. He squeezes it back in the hand a little bit, and I don't think it's something he tries. I could be wrong, but
We're about 4 to 6 to 8 different types of breaks on this breaking ball.
That's why I call it. I've always called it a breaking ball.
There's a short slider that misses outside. 2-0 on Jennings. Just the rare pitcher who can fall behind, and it still just doesn't matter that much in terms of what opponents hit against him.
No, that's right. It is. I mean, he's something else. He's different.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Outside, 3-0.
Yeah,
well, you don't want to bring the potential tying run to the plate in a 6-3 game. A walk to Escobar after Escobar fouled off a couple of 2-strike pitches. Struck out Joyce on a 2-2. Now 3-0 on Desmond Jennings. The ball got loose from the bullpen, rolled all the way to the pitcher's mound.
Artificial surface. It's amazing. It's like your rug.
Now, how the heck did that happen? The bullpens are aligned, so if a wild pitch went by one of the catchers, you'd think it'd end up behind home. 3-0 pitch is a strike on the inside corner.
Well,
must have caromed off somebody.
It must have been Rondon, not Smalley. Let's put it that way.
Bruce Rondon is back with the Tigers. Jim Leland said he will not close. They want to ease him into a 7th, 8th inning role, and you would think a prominent role soon.
Soon. Yep. And potentially down the road, who knows?
3-1 pitch, broken bat. Ground ball fouled on the third base line. Jennings looked like he swung at ball 4. And it's now 3-2 on Desmond Jennings. And when you're in a 2-strike count against Albuquerque, it's not a comfortable feeling.
No, it sure isn't. I mean, that's why I say the fastball, from a hitter standpoint, you got to look for the fastball, make adjustments. With him, until you get some strikes on, you should guess. Because you got a 50-50 chance of guessing right.
Take your best shot.
That's exactly right. Might look silly, but, I think that's the best way to attack him.
3-2, Escobar goes. Check swing on a pitch in the dirt. He went too far. And down to second goes Escobar. Strikeout of Jennings, who was trying to make an appeal. I'm not sure what he was trying to appeal, like maybe got a piece of it. Either way,
yes.
It's a strikeout. But he was running to first, but there was no play.
Yeah. He didn't think he went far enough. He tried it. Good try. But there we go again. That ball bounced up, and how are you going to hit that? Comes the old skipper.
Jim Leland's coming out. Zobrist, a switch hitter. Better from the left side. And Jim Leland wants a lefty to face him. Drew Smiley's coming on. While the Tigers go to their bullpen with a 6-3 lead in the 8th inning and 2 outs, man on second. We'll pause for these words on the Detroit Tigers radio network. This season, Gordon Chevrolet will donate $25 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Gordon Chevrolet on Ford Road in Garden City. Drew Smiley is a new pitcher. He comes in to turn the switch hitter Ben Zobrist around to bat from his weaker right side.
Pitcher change brought to you by Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Visit Royal Oak Ford first. Well, it's been a workhorse. 47 2/3 innings so far. That's second among American League relievers, and 47 strikeouts is third for this young left-hander.
First pitch to Zobrist is high and outside.
Yeah. 47 strikeouts is strong. 47 2/3 innings. Only 36 hits also. That is strong.
Zobrist draws more walks as a left-handed batter and hits with more power from the left side. All 5 of his home runs as a lefty. .242 as a right-handed batter. He swings and pops it high and foul out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike, 6-3 Tigers. Bottom of the 8th inning. Try to get this road trip off to a good start.
Very
Series
important.
win in Tampa would be a good way to start it. You look at the teams the Tigers are playing on this road trip. They all have good records at home. Led by Cleveland, which is where this trip will finish.
4 days, 4 games in Cleveland.
They're 24-15 at home. There's a swing and a foul over the screen. The Rays came into this game 23-17 at home. Smiley now ahead of Zobrist. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, this young left-hander is, as we like to say all the time, is born with a feel for pitching. It just came naturally. Al Kaline and Mr. Al Kaline and I were talking to him the other day in the locker room, and he said, I have always felt that way. Al asked him, he said, no, I've always thought I had that feel for pitching. And what a combination. What a combination.
Here's the 1-2, swinging a ground ball foul down the third base line. General Lottery scoreboard from the 1-800-CALL-SAM studios. Baltimore down 3-0 early, rallied with 3 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. They've got a 4-3 lead over Baltimore. That game is now going to the top of the 9th inning. Jim Johnson on to close that one out. Sabathia ended up giving up all 4 runs. Toronto came back to tie Boston. They were down 5-0. That's 5-5 at Fenway in the 7th. Smiley delivers a 1-2. That one bounced at the feet of Ben Zobrist. Pittsburgh 9-3 over Milwaukee in the 8th inning. Kansas City beating up Minnesota 6-1 in the 4th in Minneapolis. In case you missed it, Cleveland 19-10 winners over Chicago in the first of a doubleheader.
Oh, jeez.
19-10.
Oh, my goodness.
Straight doubleheader in Chicago.
Oh, boy. I can hear some of my buddies who broadcast the games for the White Sox right now.
Houston leading the Angels 1-0, of course. Trying to make it 8 wins in 11 games. 2-2, swing and a foul out of play.
What inning are they in there?
They're in the 6th inning in Houston.
1-0.
Norris shutting out the Angels, the team the Tigers could not beat this year. And the Astros have beaten the Angels 7 out of 10 meetings. 1-0 in the 6th. The Astros have played much better ball. They played .500 ball now for a quarter of a season. They're 20-19 in their last 39 games.
They did some shuffling around there.
Yep. Bo Porter's got them playing a solid brand of baseball, considering how short they are. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He just waved at an off-speed pitch away.
Boy, I tell you, art of pitching, way to go there, young man.
Smiley comes on, gets a third out of the 8th, and strands a runner at second base. We head to the 9th at Tropicana Field. 6-3 Tigers on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. Smiley leads off for the Tigers. 9th inning, 6-3 Tigers over the Tampa Bay Rays. First pitch from Cesar Ramos is a strike. Fastball at 89 miles an hour. Bottom third of the order, Kelly, Infante, Pena. Max Scherzer is the pitcher of record.
Another terrific job.
7 innings, 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. There's a little swing, a little flare into left center. Going to drop for a base hit in between Joyce and Escobar. He's owed that after the line drive out his first time up.
He's owed it because he's a great guy.
Max Scherzer trying to become the first starting pitcher to begin a season 12-0 since Roger Clemens in 1986. Started the season 14-0.
Well, wouldn't put it past him. I mean, his rhythm mechanics right now are so good. Remember early on, that was a problem with Max. Not coming out of the same release point I call it the keyhole, which is just a little bitty area. And he does it with perfection now.
Infante at the plate. There's a pitch inside. Final line brought to you by Auto Value Parts Stores. You can pick up Total Performance engine oils. 9 strikeouts means that he has also struck out at least 6 in all 16 starts this year. The only other pitcher to do that in history is Pedro Martinez.
Pedro, that's pretty good company.
The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Max Scherzer just keeps rolling along. He keeps it all in perspective. He always says, well, you know, the wins and losses, it's kind of a fluky thing. Talking about the 12-0 or 11-0 start, possibly 12-0 after tonight. But it is also a reflection of how well he's pitched this year.
Well, he's a power pitcher with the art of pitching. I mean, you can't ask for anything more than that. I mean, that is as good as it gets.
Here's the 1-1. There's a pitch outside. With a 7-inning start in this game, Max has now gone 7 or 8 innings in 11 starts this year, which matches the total, Jim, of all of last year. The times he went 7 or 8 innings. He has matched his total from last year with 11 such starts out of his 16 starts. 2-1 pitch is in the dirt.
So a night he pitches, the bullpen can relax up until late in the game.
And he truly, when he started a game last year, you knew that usually it was going to be closer to 6 than 7 almost every time.
And Jim would have to start watching the pitch count, you know. And I mean, with the growth, I mean, the growth of Max Scherzer has been incredible in the field for pitching.
Infante waiting on a 3-1. Kelly takes off. There's a swing and a foul out of play. Oh, Donnie had a good jump, too.
He sure did. But Max starts with that fastball, which is something else. When I describe it to other teams, when players or coaches had asked me about it, I said, I'm telling you, it does what I'm telling you it does. You know, some folks say, no, that's okay. Get your bat, get in there and play. You'll see. It's unique. And then with the command of it, I mean, wow.
Well, flip over to first. Well, he went to a 3-0 count on a batter in this game. And he's gone to, I think, 9 3-0 counts all season on a 3-0 bat. I mean, he just doesn't go to 3-ball counts and not 3-0.
And let's go over again. Power arm.
Power arm.
Many strikes out, low walks. Can't get any better than that.
3-2. Kelly goes, pitch inside. Omar Infante draws a walk, and the first 2 men are on. Here in the 9th inning, Tigers already leading 6-3. Jim Hickey again out to the mound. Jim Leland has talked much of this year about trying to get the bullpen in sync. And I think the Rays probably feel the same way. Some guys who have been dependable and very good for the Rays in the past, like McGee and Farnsworth, have struggled at times this year. And they probably feel like they're not quite to where they want to be. Fernando Rodney has struggled. He's looks like back on track.
Did it against the Tigers there, that's for sure.
He certainly looked like it in Detroit. But this is a team that has been, well, I would say, masterful, Jim, in building bullpens out of other people's spare parts for years on end.
Yeah, we always talked about the pill that he gives. We were just kidding about that. But they are no longer that fearsome pitching staff because one of the injuries, but also, like you said, the bullpen.
And certainly with the track records, every possibility that the second half is going to be much more Ray-like than the first half. Brian Pena bunts, kind of jabbed at it and fouled it out of play. Strike one on Pena.
Well, that'll be interesting to watch from afar.
It will. Assuming Price gets back on track, Hellickson. We worry about Cobb and whether he can come back after being hit with a line drive. You always worry about the post-concussion symptoms.
Boy, that was
which can linger.
That was horrible. It really was.
Well, after that attempt, you think they'll ask Brian to bunt again or go ahead and swing away?
No, I think they'll have him bunt again.
He squares, bunts, and he lays it down beautifully. Just to the right of the mound, Loney comes in, fields, and flips to Zobrist covering first. Well, he deadened that ball perfectly, just to the right of the mound, and advances the runners to second and third for Austin Jackson.
Well, he did a favor for Brian. That was an off-speed breaking ball. I mean, you could have caught the ball and bunted it. Now, if it's a hard breaking ball, okay, or a fastball, but an off-speed breaking ball up in the zone, are you kidding me?
Yeah, you would have thought, Jim, after, he kind of jabbed at the fastball and bunted it to the screen back behind home plate, he'd probably see another.
Yeah. You would have called that. I would have called it.
Infield in tight, 6-3 Tigers in the 9th inning. Austin Jackson batting, breaking ball strike on the inside corner. Austin 0 for 3. Looking at back-to-back hitless games, unless he can get a hit here. But again, he gets on every game. Hitless yesterday, got on twice. Hitless today, but he walked to start the game. Another walk drawn on a 3-2 pitch. He's been very, very good at that. Going back to last year. The strike one, swinging a line drive right to the shortstop. Escobar, backhand flip to Johnson at third, and they double off Don Kelly.
Well, didn't hit it hard, but if it wouldn't have been right at him, probably got through the infield.
Jackson lines out. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 6-3, Tigers on top. This is the home of Detroit Tigers baseball. Tigers bottom of the 9th. Let's pause right now for station identification on the Detroit Tigers radio network. Joaquin Benoit comes on to close this game out. Tigers leading by 3, bottom of the 9th.
Pitching change brought to you by Southeast Michigan Ford Dealers. Visit Royal Oak Ford. Think Ford first.
First pitch to the cleanup hitter, Kelly Johnson, is a strike.
4 for 4 in save situations with his hard-throwing right-hander. And you look what he's done as the closer.
Johnson came in for Longoria, and he takes another fastball for a strike.
Look at his last 10 and a third, couple runs, 2 saves, 12 strikeouts over his last 10 outings, and only allowed 2 walks during that stretch. So the fastball's been good, and that trick pitch changeup also has complemented the fastball.
Here's the 0-2, just outside of the fastball. Johnson came in when Longoria left with plantar fasciitis in his right foot. He has struck out in both of his at-bats. Hot bat helped the Rays become one of the more prolific offenses early in the season, and now he has cooled way off. Home run power in this left-handed bat. Waiting on the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him with the fastball. Overpowered him.
Yes, quite tardy. We've seen a few of those tardy swings by the Rays here tonight.
9 strikeouts for Max Scherzer through 7, and now the relievers have recorded 4 outs, all with strikeouts. 2 for Albuquerque, 1 for Smiley, 1 for Benoit, and every strikeout but 1 tonight of the 13 strikeouts has been on a swinging third strike.
And the report was they don't swing and miss very often.
What'd you say? That team that swings and misses the least, right?
The least, that's right. Well, not against the Tiger staff.
There's a swing and a miss. Fastball low and outside. It's been a very consistent year for Benoit, hasn't it?
It really has, yeah. You know what, to me, I think you see a little more concentration. You don't see doubt. And I think in the past at times you saw doubt in his makeup on the mound. That's not good.
Transitioning from the 8th to the 9th. And he's handling it quite well so far. The strike 1 pitch, swinging a foul out of play. And Jim Leland says you have to watch him. He doesn't feel like he is quite like, say, a Jose Valverde in his prime where you could work him 3 days in a row. Most times they will not work him 3 days in a row if a save situation came up that often.
Well, to be a true closer, you have to be able to do that and also come back after a loss. And Valverde in his heyday was terrific at that.
But Joaquin Benoit is certainly looking like a guy who can nail down the 9th inning most nights for the Tigers. The 0-2. Swinging a little pop fly into left center. That's going to drop for a base hit. A little flare over shortstop, fielded by Jackson on a couple of skips. James Loney on an 0-2. Went down and got the off-speed pitch, popped it into left center.
Well, as you know, that's a no-no, but I think he wanted that ball almost to bounce up and certainly didn't do that.
9th inning is brought to you by Comerica Bank, the leading bank for business. Learn more at Comerica.com/business. That brings up Will Myers, the rookie sensation.
The rookie doesn't wear batting gloves. How about that?
There are about, 5 players in Major League Baseball who
now
don't
6.
wear batting gloves. It's a small number, and for a rookie to do it really does stand out.
Oh, man.
First pitch from Benoit, fastball outside. Myers with a home run and a single. Bombed the home run off Scherzer down the left field line. Punched his single on the first pitch he saw from Scherzer in the 7th inning to right. And then scored a run on a 2-out double from Luke Scott.
He's an impressive-looking young man.
Upright stance, knees slightly flexed, cocks the bat over the right shoulder, swings and fouls it out of play. He says he's already discovering how difficult it is up here. He says, I'm not quite to where I want to be in the comfort zone at this time of year, but if he's not quite there and he's already hit 3 home runs and knocked in 9.
Well, you see the bat speed.
The Rays might have something special.
They do. The bat speed stands out. Boy, I don't think he's shaved yet, has he? You think?
Waiting on the 1-1. 6-3 Tigers in the 9th. The pitch. A swing and a miss. Change up, and it's not where Benoit wanted it. It was up in the strike zone, 1-2.
Yeah, sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes. The old famous Fosh change up. That one didn't do too much.
Middle of the infield looking for something on the ground. Peralta, Infante, Cabrera deep, fairly close to the line at third, and the outfield straight up. Right-handed batter against the righty. Myers, a rookie, waiting. The 1-2. Swing and a soft tap foul on the third base line. Stays alive by hitting the off-speed pitch foul.
I see.
1-2.
See, there's an article in the paper today or something about he found a place to live here, and I guess there's 5,000 young gals that called and left their name that they had a place for him to stay.
Stay.
So
no shortage of offers. Dave.
No, and you understand that he's a good-looking young man and quite a future ahead of him.
Well, they're hoping he's going to be right there with Longoria in the heart of this lineup for a long time to come. They've got Longoria locked up for years to come here in Tampa. The 1-2. Strike 3 called. Oh, he painted the outside corner with a fastball.
Boy, that crossfire is that's a Max Scherzer fastball right there, low and away. What a pitch. Will Myers, you never saw one of those before. I'll guarantee it. That was absolutely perfect. He didn't argue. Maybe I'll play a little bit, but you got to swing late in the game. What the heck? Right, Dan? I've always said that, haven't I?
Yeah.
Thank
especially
you.
when it's a non-Tiger at the plate.
Well, thank you.
Luke Scott batting 6-3 Tigers, 2 outs in the ninth. James Loney, the runner at first. Fielder is playing behind him. He'll probably take second right here. He takes off and he'll go down to second. Luke Scott trying to bunt his way on. Bunts it foul to the screen behind home. And Miguel Cabrera, look at Miguel.
He's mad. He's mad.
Coming in, and he wants to get Scott's attention.
That's right.
Before he backs up at third base. Luke Scott not looking out at him.
There's a reason he's not looking at him. You don't want to see the look on it.
Now, Miguel, I think, is being told to stay in, and he's looking over at the dugout with his arms out wide as if to say, he's not going to bunt again. Do I really have to play in tight?
Yeah, I think there's a disagreement.
Reluctantly, Miguel is staying.
He's pointing at everybody.
Fairly close to third base instead of backing up where he was more toward the hole. There's a swing and a high pop-up. This will end it. Out to short. Peralta comes in, makes a catch, and the Tigers start the weekend off in the long road trip off of the big win in St. Petersburg.
Fantastic.
Max Scherzer is now 12-0, the first Major League pitcher to start 12-0 since 1986. And the Tigers get home run power from Cabrera and Fielder. Our final score, the Detroit Tigers 6 and the Tampa Bay Rays 3. Wins 6-3 over the Rays. Stat of the game brought to you by Dunham Sports. Getting the game at Dunham's. Until further notice, until Max Scherzer does not get a win, we're going to be picking the number that Max Scherzer has just picked up a win. So the number tonight is 12. 12-0 for Max Scherzer, and who knows where this is going to end, Jim, but it's a lot of fun to watch. The consistency is what stands out. The ability to work deep into games. And really, after the Tigers needed a pick-me-up after losing 3 straight to the Angels at home, and he got this road trip off on a great note.
Well, he's been the ace of aces, the horse, whatever you want to call it. And I just marvel at the consistency of his mechanics, his release point, the rhythm that he has, and how that fastball jumps out of his hands and doesn't overthrow the secondary pitch. He's a fastball pitcher, and that's the pitch is number one, in my opinion, in the major leagues. And then you have the improved slider and curveball, always had the good changeup. So, I mean, it's just marvelous to watch. He attacks the hitters, and he means business when he goes after the hitters.
Tigers win 6-3, improved to 43-35 with the win. Player of the game brought to you by U.S. Park. $8 a day every day at U.S. Park. Miguel Cabrera didn't have a bad night. 4 for 4, 2 home runs plus a double, scored 3 runs, drove in 3 runs. Miguel Cabrera is our player of the game.
Well, Dan, I think he was really thrilled that this young man threw the pitch that he threw to him that he hit out the first time. Then I don't think he could believe it. He threw the same pitch in the same spot again that he hit out. Other hitters might foul that off or whatever. Not Miguel Cabrera. The first one was a mile high and quick, and the other was a mile high and quick. And I don't know what was hit the furthest, but both of them were instant home runs. He's a special player, a special person.
377 batting average for Cabrera now with 24 home runs and 81 RBIs.
Wow.
Hot Hands play of the game brought to you by Lucido Fine Jewelers from Metro Detroit's most beautiful engagement rings, maybe the most satisfying home runs. And he had gone 21 games without a home run. He hit a home run here that hit a catwalk. There are 4 rings of catwalks here at Tropicana Field. That's maybe, I'm guessing, 100 feet off the field, certainly 80, 90 feet off the field.
Yeah.
Hits that. It's by the right field wall, so just imagine how far that ball was going to go before it hit the catwalk and fell back to earth. But just an absolute bomb of a home run, one of the longest you'll see, and for him, it had to be extremely satisfying.
Well, absolutely. He's a home run hitter. That's what he does. And, his demeanor didn't change, but you could tell by looking at him and talking to him a little bit. That's in the back of his mind. And now it's over with, and watch out now. You just think that now that he got that one, and now it was defense scrapers different, but he hit a bomb. So there you go. He's back.
You're reminded just how much power
That's right.
is in that bat. Tigers win 6-3. Stay with us. More postgame after this on the Detroit Tigers.